What's up to everyone? How are you guys doing today?
Yo, what up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
What's up, Powerhouse? Does anyone know how this buy and hold works?
I mean, when you buy, hold, and refinance?
Yes. Well, I guess it's like you buy a property, you hold it, you could rent it, right?
You can.
So I guess the question is like what's the procedure or what's the process into getting a property and putting it under buy and hold to rent to somebody?
Well, basically, you would have to buy the property and have it, the monthly payment. Are you going to buy the property outright?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I would be the buyer.
So you just buy it and rent it out. You need to make sure whatever loan that you've gotten, that the rent you are renting it out for, is higher than the loan that you're paying back.
Got
And
it.
then
Okay.
your property at that point.
Okay. And I could also put that under my LLC.
So if you have a lender that's going to give you 70%, you need to have that under 70. That way, and figure out the holding costs, closing costs. That way, the loan that you get will cover everything. And it'll be out of pocket. No money out of pocket. You know what I mean? That would be the ideal scenario. I'm not an expert, but I have been working with some private lenders in this broker thing, and I dropped a ball on the deal with a lady like that today. We needed like $12K because she got approved for the amount, but she needed, we'll call it $13K to get the money she needed. So had she went in under that already and figured that out, she would have been all money in, approved, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
And it was the same. She was going to rehab it, and they still approved her because it was a good deal.
Yeah.
We didn't come up with the 12K.
With the EMD. Oh, man, that sucks for you, huh?
Yeah, so think about that when you are bidding. If you say, hey, I know my private lender or my money guy loans at yada percent of the after repair value, when you go into bid or whatever, you take that into consideration and holding costs. You know what I mean? And that's what you maybe want to go in at your asking price, because at that point, your money guy is going to give you, they give you that amount on this.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
That sucks. I could have given you guys a 12K. But how long would you guys have to tie it up though?
The 12K?
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm kind of new at the whole creative financing, but how it looks to me is the price she was going to pay for it, or the price that was going to be paid for, there was going to be money left over.
Okay.
So I now just me, if I was going to borrow the 12, I try to, if I needed it, I'd do not whatever, but within reason, if they would let me borrow it. And I don't know how money moves in between title, but I've been doing a lot of YouTube, and sometimes they're like, you can just have instructions to the title where to move the money.
What do you mean? Like the extra money that you have, like you could have put it down on another property?
I don't know about all that. I'm not an expert, but you could be like, hey,
Okay.
title, just like in the Morby method. It's easy on the first one, and then on the second one, you're telling title where to move the money to. You may go back to the seller and be like, hey, I need 10K for repairs. But really, in all reality, you're moving that money to the private lender who got you in the deal or whatever to pay off what you got into the entry fee.
Right.
It's your money, and you can control where it's moved at.
Okay. So
As
I want to
long as
go back
people
to
who
when you were
get paid
telling.
supposed to get paid, because the money's going to be entitled.
Okay.
Right.
So let me ask you. So you were saying that. So if you do a buy and hold, like you were saying, check with your lender. Like, what's the percentage? Like you saying, like if it's 70%, right? So what do you mean by that? 70% of what you're borrowing the money?
Yeah, 70% of the after repair value, whatever they're basing the loan on. Like lenders are basing you money. Let me pull up something here that I got right quick before we
So
get
like,
started.
can you do it in dollars, Willie? Because I don't understand.
Yeah. I was gonna try to do that. I was gonna exactly
Okay.
try to do it. I'm not an expert. I promise you, I'm not. But that deal today, girl, I'm sweating so hard. I might call into work and just write some numbers out. And I asked that lady. I said, I'm gonna share this with the students because I was like, I fucked up somewhere. So listen, this is how it goes.
Okay.
The loan amount, say it's 110.
Uh-huh.
They base that on a loan to value at 65%.
Okay.
So then they want the 13K down.
Okay.
For us to get the 107. This is all based on a purchase price of 85K,
Okay.
a rehab of 35, and an after repair value of 165.
Okay, got you. So the entry fee was only 13K?
That's to get the 107. If we came up with the 13K, we get the 107. We're already in the deal.
Oh, okay.
The deal's already under contract. At this point, if you've got funding, your deal should already be under contract. They're not giving you funds on fantasy.
Right.
They don't even want to waste their time. If you got it under contract, they'll submit it and you can find out what you can get.
Right.
Straight up.
Okay.
So, but if you already know, hey, the average lender's giving, I mean, you could probably Google, what are y'all giving on buying homes? What are you giving on fix and flip? What are you giving on refinances? They love refinances, of course, because you already own the asset.
Right.
So, and then you know what you can go in at your bid in. Like if some lenders are going in at 80%, if you get it under 80% of that after repair value, after loan value, what they're giving, and you calculate properly your holding cost or your closing, it could all be on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It could all be on your money person. It's the relationship you'll know what they're giving. Just like I was telling that to her, I was like, can we not go back to that seller and say, hey, I don't know. I was up watching videos. I said, can we not say, let's defer 10K and lower the price? That way you got all in. But to me, I didn't ask all these intricate questions, but I was like, once I started looking at the numbers, I said, isn't there going to be some money left over if you only owe them 85K and they're giving you 107?
Yeah.
And you need 13.
Yeah.
Can't we be like, here, Gators, let's dangle the bait and see if we can't get it done? And she actually had another deal in the pipeline. And from what I understand, 54K would have secured both what she needed to secure the other property. And they're both in Tennessee, which is a good area. That's why I knew she had a good deal, because they came back so fast with the money approval, and these people match money. So she told me, hey, my last lender gave me this. I emailed the guy in Arizona. I said, hey, her last dude gave that. He emailed me right back. He said, so if I match that, will she proceed? It was like immediately I emailed her. I said, hey, this is what they said. And she told me I don't have the 13K. Had I known that initially, we were just texting, I would have, you know what I mean? And then she was like, I'm canceling. I was like, shit, please. I said, I'm asking the group because I was like, there's something, we're going over that. I said, because there's gonna be a lot of people just barely short, but if we know, then we know.
Yeah, then upfront, then you could just pull together the cash and be like, look, we're just gonna hold it till X, Y, and Z.
Right. Because I was another friend of mine, he was letting me underwrite because I was crunk about it. And we put a bid on I think a 41 unit in Oklahoma City. And he was like, bro, you underwrote it. I'm gonna put the bid in at what you say. And yada yada yada. We didn't get it. But he started working with me. And any question I had, he would come. And yesterday I had that same question. I was like, man, I need a gator. And he was like, I'm about to slap you. What you mean you need a gator? He's like, I already told you how to work it backwards with those people.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no way you should need a gator. If you knew, you know what I mean? You know the average, you know this, you know that, or you can find it out. And then you really shouldn't need a gator. If you've got it less than $5,000, you ought to be able to pull that up. But if you do it right, all the money's going to be there because you know what they're going to give you. Yeah. So you set your buy point at that, knowing it's going to be, you can buy recklessly at that point. If you get it under and you got a money person, you can buy recklessly at that point. Not recklessly, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With confidence, right. You're bidding with confidence that out of pocket.
Because the numbers will be right.
Yeah. Then when you get your own skin in the game, you for sure good. They're gonna call you, hey, Mr. Ingram, when you go in the bank. Hey, bud, what's up? It's gonna be like Roosters Million. Anyway. Yeah, I fumbled.
So you can't go back to them? Well, you said the contract was already canceled.
But the deal is still up. Now.
But
Yo, what are you guys talking about?
Man, I fumbled. No, don't tell him. Don't tell him, y'all.
No, we won't get into it. Sounds like you guys are in a good conversation, but you guys could jump on a call like after this or whatever for that conversation. But it sounds like some type of deal you guys are working.
No, man. Don't do me like that, man. No. Oh, my Wi-Fi messing up. I gotta go.
No, he didn't.
Hey, I'm finna pull the freeze on you like when your grandmama called, baby, can I get you to cut my
power off.
Yeah.
What up? How's everybody's day going? Chill?
Man.
Everybody's evening, actually.
It's good.
Pretty good.
What's everybody doing? You guys want to, turn on your cameras, turn off your mics, say what's up? How's everybody?
Well, mine's not going pretty good. I'm over here fighting this storm.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there right now fighting that storm. Giles, he's in Naples. It's going there right now.
Yeah, well, he's right up under me. So right now, shoot, we getting it. Hold on, I'll turn on the camera so y'all see this. We got a power and everything over here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, you gotta stay safe, buckle down.
Yeah, we had to buckle down. I tore everything down yesterday. Look at that.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it came in right up under us. So
wow.
Yeah. Great.
Hey, but my man's still on the Zoom.
Hey, I came on. I got some battery.
My man down in the basement. Don't do
it. Hey, we buckle down.
That's how we do it in the powerhouse.
Hey, oh boy, so it's a hurricane. What y'all talking about?
Hey, ain't got nothing else to do. You better go somewhere.
Hurricane, tornado, or earthquake gonna stop the flow of the powerhouse. What?
That's it.
What kind of Wi-Fi you got?
Got to keep on rolling.
That's it.
We gotta post that.
What's up, Yoli? Are you there?
What? We on the Zoom.
What's up, Yoli? I see you're having you were saying something about you can log in to what, your Facebook? You're on mute. I'm not sure if you're speaking.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I use my computer, and then for some reason, when I try to go to the messenger to log in, I'm having trouble. So now, okay, I said I got my phone. As long as I have the passcode and the ID, I can use my phone. So I apologize for being late.
You're not late. It's all good.
Okay, but
I was
listen,
late myself.
oh my goodness, I got a good one for you. Okay,
Okay.
so last week, there was one that had an auction date, off market. So I contacted the agent that sold the house to that person. I
Okay.
said, hey, you sold this house to this person. It's in trouble. It's an auction. And I said, today's the auction. The auction's like in a few hours. So they postponed the auction. Okay. So then they tell me, you have to have this under a purchase agreement. You have to call the owner. So I called, I skip trace, called, skip trace, then text blast, no response, nothing. So now I look at that property, it's on the market for sale. Okay. So the thing about that property, I'm looking at the comps. There's no way they're gonna sell that because there's several houses out there that are on the market that are beautiful, stuff gorgeous. Their house is a shamble. It's a mess. Nobody gonna buy that piece of trash right now. So what I want to do, I want you, because I'm trying to the listing agent on there right now. She I worked with her before. She's a beautiful gal. She is busy. I submitted my offer to her. And she said, you're making such a lowball offer. I said, this is not my offer. I said, this is what's going to be left after everything is renovated and everything. The property is worth 1.4 million. They owe 1 million. So after this and that, I told her this is more or less what is going to be left. She hasn't called me back. I don't know. I went in there today. It's back on the market. Her face is on it. So I don't want to make the offer. I want you to make the offer.
Okay. And what offer do you want me to make? Or you want me to figure the whole thing out?
Yeah. I want to see you, and then I'm going to show you my numbers. I want to compare and see how close I came.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Well, what's the address? Is it
Okay.
in the messenger, or do you have?
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, just a moment here. Can you see my screen?
Oh, I can't.
No?
No, but you can just text it to me in the messenger, so I have it.
Okay. Okay, just a second here.
Where's this one at? In you said Vegas or no?
No, this is Laguna Hills.
Okay.
Okay.
Cali.
All right, yeah, let me get you right now. The address is 2608 Fisk Lane. It's in Redondo Beach.
Say that again. 2260 what?
2608 Fisk Lane.
Two 608 Fisk Lane. Spell it out again for me from 2608.
Fisk.
Sisk. Okay.
And I ran all the comps on there. There are several houses right now that are up for sale and that are beautifully renovated. If you see the pictures on Zillow, it's a mess. It's a hot mess.
Okay. For some reason, I can't pull it up. I'm typing it in, but I'm not able to grab it. Send me a text with the address.
Okay.
How's everybody else doing? Anybody have any questions for now while I'm waiting for this address?
Okay, there it is.
Let's take a look.
Oh, just a moment. Somebody's knocking at the door. Hold on.
Cool. Do.
Yo, Carlos, I got a question for you.
Sure, what up?
Hey, so in seller financing, if someone got properties as an inheritance, they don't have to pay capital gains, or do they, right?
Good question. I'm not 100% sure on that. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. You know, as you know, if they could make a profit on it, why wouldn't they pay capital gains on it?
What? Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, Tom, step in if you know it. He's asking if somebody were to get a house inherited and they were to sell that house, would they pay capital gains because they weren't the original purchaser of the house?
So they inherited the house and then they sell it.
Yeah, would they pay taxes basically?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, I'm not an accountant, but definitely check with an accountant on that. But yeah, they're most likely going to pay capital gains because it depends if it was taxed when they inherited it, but they may be taxed on the inheritance, like the death tax. But I don't know if they get double taxed if they sell the house then. That's as much as I know.
I know that it needs to be, if the property is under an umbrella and not under the name of the person, then, you know, like they don't have to pay anything because it's under the living trust.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
Yeah, if the property is under, you know, like the name of the person, then he's responsible and he will pay 100%. If you want your children to be, you know, like not paying taxes or anything, free completely from lawsuits, anything, it needs to be under an umbrella, most definitely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Got you. Let's see. Yola, did you get back or no? Where's she at?
Yes, I'm here. I'm back.
Cool. Let's see. Let me have another question. Can you explain the benefits of seller financing for the seller? Yeah, we can do that right now.
I'm sorry, can you speak louder?
I was reading a question. So this is a deal. You spoke with the realtor. She's avoiding you, kind of thing, and you want me to call her. Okay, I don't mind calling her this time, but I work like if you want me to work the lead, have them open for me to talk to them. I know it's gonna be like the same thing if I'm gonna go in there and pitch the same kind of thing, the same ordeal. So I don't mind calling her and telling her. It's just that, you know, if you want me to bring more value to it, just get the lead ready for it, so I don't have to go and just work with this agent, because really it's best if you can set it up for like the agent and I to speak with the seller or something, because the agent is going to be the one that's the middleman that is going to more or less give the offer that they didn't already like from you, you know? So they're more or less not going to do the same thing with me and not give that offer, because in their mind, they want the most, they want to sell it for the most so they can get their full commission on the actual sales price.
And see, I understand that, but this agent, Vanessa, I've been working with her for 1 year. This girl is hot. I gave her the lead. I gave her my offer. I sent it to her. Okay, this is my offer. These people here, they owe $1 million some. So I put my offer together. This is the debt that they, can you see my screen?
No, I can't see your screen.
Okay, I'm gonna show you real quick. This is perfect.
So you talked to the agent already?
I've already talked to the agent.
Well,
Can you
call
see
him.
my screen?
Call him.
No, we can't see your screen. There we go.
Okay, so this here, this is, I pulled all the comps out of all the comps. This is what they owe. This is how much money they owe. The ARV is this. This is the ARV. after I went through privy and did all my due diligence. This is my ARV. I did, this is my calculations. I gave a lot of buffer here for the investor the whole time. And then this is my fee. This is what's gonna be left to the owner. I think this heifer, she wasn't understanding me. I told her, this is not my offer. This is what's gonna be left to the owner. I told her, this is my ARV. I don't know. She hasn't called me back. And I don't know.
Well, okay, so what was your offer then? Because she could be, you know, a realtor is not an investor, so they don't understand looking at this stuff. They're just a salesman. Now, if they're a realtor and they invest, it's a different story. Majority of realtors, all they do is list stuff and then submit offers. They don't go and look at calculators. They don't look at how to wholesale or how to invest, how to fix and flip. So you showing them stuff like this, they can look at it, but it's not like they understand what they're doing. So it's really like, what was your offer to them? The actual number you were going to give them?
I gave her, I told her 850. But I think
no. So if they owe 1 million, right? So 850,000, if you're offering them 850, and I understand that's going to be the difference. Your offer to them would be like, hey, I'm offering you 1.2 million. I'm offering you 1.3 million. I'm offering you 1.4 million for the house. You get me? That's the offer. That's what I'm wondering. What offer did you give her?
I told her that the ARV on this is 219 ARV.
Okay.
And then I told her, I think I just confused her. I maybe confused myself, but I told her after all the repairs and everything, 850,000 is what's left over after they repay their debt. Okay, and then I told her I have closing fees and all this. I told her 493 is going to be left to the owner. That's what I offered her.
Got you. Yeah. So it's a little bit that way that you offered it. It's just a little bit more confusing, or it could be really confusing to a lot of people. And like even probably everybody in here who's like seeing the screen, it's easier. Like you see how you're saying 493,000 is left to the owner. Like if the debt was $1 million, right? And the owner was going to make 493, then your cash offer would be like 1.4 million or 1,493,513. Like that would be an offer that an agent or an seller would understand. When you're breaking it down that way, because they're not selling it for the $2 million number, because it's, you know, it needs renovation and all this stuff. So by you bringing that up as part of the offer, it doesn't show them what your offer is, even if you break it down, right? So like your offer would make sense. I don't know if it makes sense on number, but at least like a number sense for them to understand what you're trying to give them. You would have presented it. Yeah, my offer to you is, you know, 1.493 or 1.5 million, right? That would be like an offer, because when you break it down like this, you're showing this for your side, right? Like you're looking at it like, hey, I'm seeing myself, my wholesale fee, and I'm putting a buffer in there and renovation costs and things like that. But it confuses the agent, because in that whole thing, there's not an actual offer. She would have to do her homework. She would have to find out exactly what the debt is and then add the $493,000 price to that. And then that's how she's going to get paid. So your 1.5 or whatever, she's thinking, okay, I'm going to get 3% on the 1.5 or 1.5%, whatever her agreement is. Yeah.
Okay. When you run your numbers, do you come up close to what my numbers are?
Well, let me see. Let me go ahead and just see what this house is worth real quick. I'll run some quick comps on it.
And here are all my comps that are comps. I didn't see that many, but these are the ones that.
So I comp differently than most people. A lot of people they do very like basic comps. They just look for, you know, like a similar like square footage kind of thing and like bed and bath count. I look for, you know, apples to apples, like 10-year built before that the
Oh, you
leave
know
they're
what?
built
Well,
and then 10 years after, and then I do 250 square feet more or less, so I can get really, really solid comps on it.
yeah, that's exactly the same thing I use, like Jamil's comping, or even this. I took this from Privy. I
Yeah.
took these comps from Privy.
Yeah, so what I see is like really, I see maybe like 1.9 is like all that I see. I see stuff for sale right now, and there's stuff at like 2 million, 1.2, 1.5, 1.4 that are around the same square feet. So more or less, I think it's closer to like that 1.4, 1.5 million mark. I see some for a little bit more, but they're a lot larger. Those are just for sale, right? And some of them have had price reductions already.
Hey, Carlos, sorry to interrupt, bro. I'm on the phone with Darius. Darius, how much did you do that contract for yesterday?
I just remember I gave him a cash offer of 15 G's, and then I just told him I can come up, on terms as long as you're willing to work with me. And so we broke it down. So I didn't really give him a number, but I said I
You want
could
to
come
call
up.
him real fast? You want to hop on the phone with him? If I just tell him, hey, let me have Carlos call you real quick and see if, because we have an issue, bro. So with the addresses, like I explained to you over the phone, and something's not adding up here.
Yeah, let me finish up with Yoli first, and
Perfect.
then we
Good.
can
I
get
didn't
on
want.
this. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just had to get that off the way. Sorry, guys.
No worries. No worries. So Yoli, I don't see this to be a deal, because here's the thing. In why this makes it hard is because in 3 months, whatever, this huge house needs renovation. In 3 months, when it's renovated, the market prices are going to come down. And so if we're looking at stuff today that's at 1.5 or maybe 1.9, in reality, it's going to come down in 3 to 6 months. It's going to be harder to find an end buyer for it, especially for a premium price house. Do you have this agent's number? Like, I mean, I can call it. I don't know what's going to happen at it, but let's do this. Like, I don't mind calling her real quick, talking to her, letting her know what I think is worth cash, and then we can go terms. I just don't think there's really much going to happen to it, especially that she declined your stuff. Send me the number or whatever.
Okay, I'll send you the number. Her name is Winessa. But you don't have to know that, because okay, just a second. Could you offer something creative with this?
You can, like a novation or something.
Yeah.
It just needs a ton of work, right? So in the end, it has to make sense. Like, term sounds exciting, but reality, for you guys to work good deals, you guys need to work with a structure. You always got to see if they're going to work with your business model. So, because I can close deals doesn't mean I can close a deal that was never going to be there. You get me? And so, like, for it to make sense for everybody, is do the basics and see if they're willing to work with you. It didn't sound too much the way you explained it to me, that you submitted an offer, she hasn't gone back to you. She told you it was a low offer. You might have confused her, all these things. To me, it doesn't sound exciting or promising, right? It sounds like, to me, I'm going to go in there and I already know how it's going to go. I don't mind doing it for you, but just looking at it, just off the top, that's how I'm looking at it. It just seems like, since you might have had this good relationship with her, but on this deal, she's avoiding you, you're messaging her, she told you it's too low of a number. I just don't see too much positive feedback coming from it. But again, I don't mind calling it just to make sure I rule it out.
Okay, yeah, because we stopped the auction. This should have been gone. So they got another chance here. It's back on the market. So what I'm saying is, okay, Well, I guess probably the best option will probably be cash. Okay, forget the creative. Forget the creative. Okay, you see the number there? Okay, yes.
Let me see. What's his lady's name?
Vanessa,
Winessa. Okay.
yes.
All right. So put yourself on mute. Please and thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and give her a call real quick.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Vanessa? This is Carlos. How you doing?
Oh, good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I had noticed that you had this listing off of Fisk Lane in Redondo Beach.
Oh, no, that's not me.
Oh, that's not you? Are you a
No.
realtor at all by chance? I just had randomly got your number.
Say that again?
Are you a realtor by chance?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I don't know how I got your number mixed up on this property. That was a little weird.
Oh, yeah. And you're from where?
I'm located in Palm Springs, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I must have I have your name right and your number, but wrong listing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. I got the wrong number.
No problem.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Maybe that was the wrong person. Was that the right? That obviously was not the right person, she said. You're on mute.
Okay, am I still sharing?
Yeah, you can unshare.
Okay. See, here it is. This is a property. That's her right there. That is her.
That Zillow doesn't add. Basically, like if you click there, Zillow is gonna give her the lead. You're gonna be her lead, but she doesn't have the property listed by her.
Oh, okay. See, I don't want to deal with her. Me personally, I already gave this to her, so that's why I don't know. So how do we can we give this to a buyer's agent?
I'm sure you can, but here, let's unshare your screen so we can have the screen open again.
Okay.
Yeah, this deal we could, aside from everything else, we can pick out later. We'll get into some other live calls so we don't spend some more time on this one. This one doesn't seem too exciting. And the lady obviously said that she didn't have it listed. Daniel broke it down on the reason why. So for future references, just I'll work deals for you guys. I want to be able to use this time proficient. So bring me deals that are like warm or hot leads. So then when I call them, this is where everybody can get all the learning at, is on the live calls. With agents, I don't mind talking to agents, but let's do that, I guess, like off of the Zoom. Because really with agents, it's different. I can't actually break down and explain to the agent the way that I could talk to a seller. Okay. So to me, really, they're always going to ask me, submit your offer. And I have like a whole bunch of fucking questions. So it's kind of difficult to do it on one call.
I got you. Okay, can we call that guy? He was waiting for our call today.
Which guy?
The guy that we were doing for Josh, the guy in Palm Springs or Vegas. No, Vegas.
Let's see. The Nuevo, the Henderson one, or no? I don't know. You sent me like a whole bunch of different stuff in the messenger. So I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Okay, hold on. This is
here, give me all that stuff, and when you're ready, just let me know. So let me ask you some more questions real quick. We can get on by. So let's see real quick. Lindsay put, can you explain the benefits of seller financing? Yeah, there are a lot of benefits when you do seller financing. So just a few of them. We're not going to the bank and paying extra fees, either both the seller and we're not paying additional fees to go to the bank and do some type of transaction like this. Seller finance, we're not giving them all cash up front, so they don't have to pay a huge gain on the price that we're giving them, because we're not giving them all cash. It's like an investment to them. They're still making a monthly income on it, still getting a payment every single month. What's really cool, if they were a landlord compared to selling their house on seller finance, is they turn into the bank. So the difference in that is they no longer own it, so they don't have any liability. So their gross incomes becomes now their net income, since they don't have to save 20% for a rainy day or a broken toilet every month. There's so many benefits to it. Some people are like older and getting in, like still like wanting to do 1031s, and you can start bringing up conversations with them, and they bring up, I don't know what I want to do, but I wouldn't be open to terms because I'm getting older, and I'd rather get this cash in 1031 it. It's kind of contradicting like themselves. Like, what do you mean if you're getting older? Are you, like, what's going on? Like, what is the goal? Why do a 1031 if it sounds like you're trying to leave the business? What are you trying to do for your business? Oh, well, I just would rather get it cash so I can put it into a new property. Well, the advantage right now that you can use over that is, well, you can do that, or you can basically, sell it to me this way. It's going to defer the taxes, the same thing on the property. You can turn it to a true investment if you want to bring that up, throw on interest in there. But here's one thing on it, is that you can go and 1031 it right now if you'd like. What you're going to do is buy something that's going to be overpriced and a high interest rate. And then next year and the year after that, the economy's going to come down. Yeah, it'll come back up here soon and whatnot over the next course of the years. But you're going to get stuck with a high interest rate on a property that's a high price, and then automatically you're going to be upside down over the next few years. And so you can kind of have them think about that. Okay, I can get all this money and go put it into a new property at what the market price is currently at with market rates. You can kind of defer. There's so many benefits in it. Easier too, like when we get on it and I can hear stories, like if I can hear kind of like their pain points, depending on what it is, there could be additional benefits. I just not remember off the top of my head. Hey guys, stop it. Okay. When owner financing as a buyer, how can we secure that payments are actually being made? I've heard that the payments can be made through a third party. Is that true? Yeah, so a third party servicing company is what it is. So you just pay some company that's what their company does, is they set up basically how to track all payments that are coming in and out, and they send out invoices. That's like beneficial for you as a business. So you have a track record and invoices on properties, but at the same time, that helps out the homeowner with their debt to income ratio, because after a while it starts like if they decided the seller wanted to buy a new house, hey guys, stop it. If they wanted to buy a new house, most of the time they're gonna have to like sell their house if they don't make a lot of money or have really good credit. Probably gonna have to sell the house to be able to get a new loan from the new lender. But if you have that third-party servicing company in place and you can show all the like track records of all the payments are being made from somebody else and whatnot, then you can actually lift up the DTI on there. Cool.
Is that a bridge loan?
What?
What are you guys talking about? Like going from one property to another and just getting a loan in between to purchase the second property while the first one is selling?
What are you talking about? The 1031 I was talking about, or which one?
Yeah.
No, 1031 exchange it's just like basically like a strategy, like a program for any investor to then basically defer the taxes on the gains of the property. So if I buy a house for 100 grand, I sell it for 200, I have to pay taxes on it if I have no investment strategy to do with that extra money, that 100 grand difference that I'm actually making as equity. So 1031, what it will do is it allows you to defer the taxes that you would have normally paid, because when you 1031, you're basically now rolling over your money into an investment property of the same value or higher priced property. And then that, since you're doing that, since it's going into an investment, you no longer have to pay your gain taxes on it, because now you're just putting it all into another property. So then you're parking your money, and now instead of paying the taxes, you're keeping that, and then you're letting it cash flow over time. And that's what, when you get busy, you want to continue to do that, because you have a scarcity mindset and you only have one deal a fucking month. You're never going to want to do shit like that, because you're going to need money to live on. When you're doing 10, 20 deals a month, you put yourself in positions like that, when you're going to be very wealthy, like every month for the next 30 years, you're fucking trying to pick up 10 homes, 15 homes. You have so much fucking money that you're going to be smart enough not to fucking pay taxes on every home that you sell. You're like, every time when you have so much money like that, you'd rather 1031 everything and park everything in other real estate and not have to, and let it appreciate, let it gain more money over time while it's sitting there, gaining cash flow. When you're ready to exit, you sell it and do the same thing over. At the same time, when you get into real estate and you turn yourself into a professional business, you own a whole bunch of other businesses. Some people start to get into construction businesses, title services, third-party servicing companies. You're gonna make enough money where 1031 makes sense. You could do it too with seller finance, with the money down, have them talk to their CPA. Hey, well, I wanted to do a 1031. I just don't want to pay taxes at all. Well, I mean, if we buy it on terms and, you know, I'm giving you $50,000 down, you can defer the $50,000 and I still owe you the 150, and we'll leave it right there in the equity. Give me 1 second. Let me just look at my dogs real quick.
Them damn French is bad.
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing?
What's good, brother? How you doing, sir?
Good, man. What's up, C-Los?
We're good. We're good.
What up? What up? How you feeling, bro?
I'm just taking it one day at a time, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel my shoulder still hurts a lot.
Hey, yo, y'all, I'm gonna be in and out of this one. I'm driving on the highway and I got somebody in the car with me, so I can't really talk, but I'm listening in as best as I can.
Cool, man. I mean, you can enjoy yourself too. We're recording everything. We're posting everything up this weekend for the last few days, so no worries.
No, hell no. I'm gonna be here.
Hell no.
I'll be listening in, and if I got something to say, I'll just go ahead on and chime in if that's cool. I just wanted to say that, so if one of y'all start talking to me or something and I don't respond, I can hear you. It's just maybe I'm in a conversation with this person here, so.
All right. 2020. Yeah.
Chris.
Hey, appreciate that. Hey, and I ain't wait. Carlos, like, you can wait till the weekend, man. I ain't waiting till the weekend to get these gems. Shit, you tripping.
Cool. Hey, I spoke with Lori or whatever this morning, the realtor or whatever, and just kind of like broke it down to her. So she said he may be open to it. I said, cool, you know, no rush. I'm not in a rush. You just let me know if this is something we can do. We can talk it out. Broke it down to her and everything, so she understood it. And I told her I'm not doing the land contract, and I explained why. And I broke it down how it works. And then I told her, hey, and then if you have any other deals that are like this, where your seller is asking too much for what it's worth, or, you know, they don't want to budge, little to no equity pre-foreclosure, Jason and I can buy all those deals and still pay you out. And, you know, so just think of us. And she said, oh, okay, cool. That was cool. And then later on, she ended up texting me like, hey, I'm looking to buy this like piece of land, and the homeowner wants 89 grand, but wants cash. And I wanted to know if, you know, how can I buy this? Are you able to buy it for me and then sell it to me next year? I was like, no, I'm not going to buy it for you, but I don't mind negotiating it. Like, I can ask them to sell it to you on seller finance for 12 to 18 months, and then you pay them off. And, you know, I was just basically breaking it down how that would work and help her out. But she may or may not even come into here every once in a while. I invited her in. She was like asking all these fucking questions about how to do it on seller finance for herself. I said, hey, if you want to know, like, you just come into the fucking training and you have to do all this shit. But yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Carlos?
What's up?
Good. Yeah, I got an interesting one that came through just through my network. Guy has a $3.7 million home, probably 1.2 left on the mortgage in LA County. The biggest thing that he's been pushing was that, taking over the existing loan or the mortgage is not possible in California. And for some reason, he's set on that, right?
I did it in one of my homes in Mariposa. I'm working on a second one like that. They're both really big homes that are like 500,000-600,000. I got one of them already. So
okay.
All day, every day I see it happening in California.
All right. Yeah. Are you good to get on a call? I got a seller. I don't know if there's a line process, how that works. I got one that's
going on. Catch me up to speed. See, let me know what we got going on first.
No problem. One of my business partners, he's staying at this accountant's house, or his accountant for his company. And then the guy's just recently got out of a relationship. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo he bought in March. This is in Brickell, Miami. And he wants to buy a unit that's higher in this condo. He's looking for 700 right now, and he put 250 down in March. He's open to seller financing. He's open to different stuff, but he wants to kind of have a breakdown. I think that would be a nice one to kind of bring into this, just offer some type of lead here and have everybody kind of listen to that. If you're open to it.
Yeah, I don't mind it. He wants 700,000 for his property.
Yeah, he wants 700,000. That's what the number he has in mind. Because that's what Zillow, everybody goes to what that Zillow number, right? I didn't break it down too much, but I thought that might be a nice lead to bring into this conversation, so people could kind of hear about it.
Where did you guys leave off? Like on your guys' conversation, where did you guys leave off? Like, did you get into negotiation phase, breaking down like why he's wanting to sell, or like what type of information do I have that I can use?
Sure. Motivation is he wants to buy a unit that's higher. And that one's got a renter in there until August of next year. He's thinking right now because of interest rates and it's harder to sell, that he would prefer to buy now because there's motivation on the next unit. He just wants to move into that unit. But I told him, hey, it's not going to be in there until August, where are you going to move? Let's say I buy it under 30 days. What's that going to look like? He's like, I'm just going to rent somewhere else. I said, okay, all right. Well, now you got 250 down into this. Do you need all 250? If you don't get all of it, what does that look like? And he's like, I'm open to it. I was like, well, how much do you really need out of that 250? He said that, maybe 100 might be nice. I was like, well, 100 tomorrow or 100 in a year, and he's like, well, I'm open to it. So that's kind of where I left it off. It was a short little 5-minute feeler, just to see if he was, So I just texted him to see if he'd be open for a call. And I'm going to say, hey, my partner's going to give you a call, now. And yeah, if you're open to it, I'll give you the number. How do you want me to shoot that over?
Cool. Just text it over to me.
Okay. I'm not sure if I actually have your phone number. I have you on Facebook.
Oh, let me put it in the side chat for you guys.
Cool.
Yeah. So did you ever give him a cash offer?
Nothing. I asked him if I was going to take it all cash, what would that look like? And he's like, well, he kind of considered that, talked to some realtors, and he's not really open to it as much because it's going to cost him a little bit, and if it was a cash offer, it'd be a little bit less. So he's kind of open on what he can get more. He's an accountant, so he's a numbers guy. If he can get a little more.
Got you. Okay, cool.
Let me see.
That's even easier. He's an accountant, so we'll just find. So the way I do it is I'll just right up front, I'm going to even find out if we're even going to be a fit, right? So the best way to do things like this, so everybody knows, is always best to find the reason why they want to sell, and then even find out if you're even the right fit. Where people forget, and I've known because I've called leads like over and over from multiple people. I've learned that if we don't learn how to ask those questions as far as, hey, would you rather list this or sell to my business model where I buy properties at a little bit of a discount, right? Or whatever. If you find out that they would rather work with the realtor, then that would be the way to go, right? If we find out that question, if we find out the answer, if we ask that question. But I find out that if we ask those questions, we find out if we're going to have an actual opportunity, or if we don't ask those questions, I find out typically they're not opportunities because I go in and ask them, would you rather list this? Because in reality, where we're going to have to hit them on a cash price right now. I mean, even if it's renovated, where we're going to have to hit them, it's going to be, a point where cash buyers that are currently buying in that market where they're offering at. And here's another thing I know that on terms could work. I just, I know it's hard for a lot of lenders don't like lending on condos because of the HOA and some of the restrictions. Yeah, a lot of lenders don't lend on them, but maybe if we lock it up, maybe somebody who has their own cash will buy it, buy the creative deal. But yeah, send me over the info, and I don't mind chopping it up and talking to them.
Okay, I'm gonna try to figure out how to do this real quick. Let's see, 760-902 7843. Cool.
Hey guys. Okay. Come here. Ace. Bongo boy. Come here. Come here. What are you doing? Hi. How are you?
All right. Should be sending it over right now. All right.
Cool.
His name is Dick. So.
Okay. Can you send me all the address as well so that I can look it up?
I could definitely do that. Let me do that for you.
Okay, cool. Got the address right here. Nice. Daniel, he lives in Miami. He's in here.
Yeah, Daniel, appreciate it. Got the message. I'll be hollering at you also if this doesn't work for us on here. And got a couple other deals that I want to talk to you about too. We're looking at buying. So appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, if you need help with the MLS or anything in Florida, in Miami, let me know.
Will do. Appreciate you.
Oh, he just bought this house or a condo?
Yep.
Damn, that's a fucking expensive ass condo for that square foot.
All these guys in the building are a bunch of ballers, man. These guys spend crazy money. It's that Miami lifestyle,
Yeah,
live hard, play hard, so.
Yeah, that's cool though. So, okay, cool. Here, let me call him up because I'll ask him all these other questions. Do I let him know that you spoke with him or no?
Yep, just say Mark. I just texted him that my partner. I'm gonna say now my partner Carlos will be calling you.
All right, cool. We'll go ahead and do this. All right, go ahead and put yourself on mute.
Cool.
How's Vic? Hey, what's up, Vic? This is Carlos. How you doing, man? Good, man. You had spoken with my associate Mark about the condo that you have right there in Miami. Just wanted to touch base with you. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So he kind of caught me up to speed a little bit. Said that you had this condo that you're looking to sell. You were looking, I guess, to purchase another condo somewhere in the same building, but a little bit higher up, right? Okay, and he said that that condo won't be ready till sometime next year, correct? What time, what like month next year would that be ready for you to move into? If you were to get it?
August, but they're flexible. They said that they can even move, you know, they can have a 3-month clause to get the tenants out as well.
Okay. Got you. And so then I just brought up your property right here online. Is this a 2-bed, 2-bath?
Yeah.
Okay, and then roughly 870 square feet?
Yeah.
Okay, and then is this correct that you just purchased it earlier this year?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. And so really the main reason is just because you want to get into the other one? I'm just trying to figure it out because it looks like you just bought it. It looks nice and everything. Is it really, that's kind of the main thing, is you're just trying to get the one above you or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll let you know kind of how we work when we purchase properties, just to see if we're even compatible, right? So when I purchase properties cash, I look to actually look for something that I can put a little value add in. I can make a little bit of money on. Right here, you know, you just bought it not too long ago. There's not much I need to do to turn around and make a profit on it. So I don't think that it's going to really work cash, because it would be a lot less than, you know, what you even buy it for. So I can make some money on doing it after renovating, or not renovating, after listing it and selling it. So I just wanted to ask you, like, would you just rather list this, or would you work with somebody like me and kind of give me like a discount where it makes sense for me to make money? Because I'm looking at it as, I see 635 to be, you know, your purchase price on it, and I'm just running comps and it looks like everything's at like 550, 600, 700 and some change. It looks like almost that's already market, so I might even be a fit buying it cash. Yeah, like here's how it works. Typically, if I can't buy it cash, I always refer to like listing it. Listing it would get you the maximum for it. Would you just do that so you can get the higher number?
Yeah, basically.
That would be your best bet, or even like just renting it out until you know you need to sell it for next year or whatever, so you can cash flow if you're not looking at just sitting there yourself. Are you living there currently as a primary residence, or is it kind of like a secondary?
That's primary.
Got you. So you're not really looking to rent it out. You would just list it, if anything. Yeah, no, I totally got you. The only way that I could do something like this, man, and pay a higher price, would be all cash. It would be more like on a seller finance type of deal. Would you work with something like that?
It makes sense, sure.
Well, let me ask you this, right? So what kind of purchase price? Sorry, I got my dogs around. Give me 1 second. Hey guys, quiet. Sorry, I'm with my dogs and I got the gardeners here. So let me ask you this: if you were to sell it to me on terms for it to make sense, what number are you looking for? And then also, I believe you need some money down to move her in or lock in your next place, right?
Yeah, like 700 plus. So 718 would be ideal.
718. Okay. And like, let's say I was able to pay something like that, because I've been known to pay market price or a little bit over with the correct terms that allow me to cash flow. So how I make money doing this is whatever my payment to you just needs to be less than what I can maximize the rent for. So then I actually make some money on it that way. You know, is there a certain amount of money that you need down?
Yeah, I mean, I'll let the cash out as much as I can. So,
say that again.
I need somebody to cash out. You know, I mean, I would like somebody to cash out. So, like 100,000, 150 would be pretty ideal.
Got you. Would you need that all now? I understand that you're looking to purchase sometime next year. Would you need that all now, or would we be able to?
I can float the money for a little bit.
because this is how I'm seeing it. If I may be able to get some time to make some just payments to you, and then sometime next year, right before you buy it, if you give me enough time, maybe 6 months, 12 months to be able to grab 100 grand out of that and pay you. That's a way that I can do it. So I purchase properties like this, like where a lot of homeowners end up buying properties a few months in and they want to sell it. And it's harder for them to make money on the market because they have to list it, and then they're gonna have to pay a realtor fee on top of that, and some like escrow closing costs. So they don't really net much. So I've learned to buy properties with the existing debt and then pay the equity out. So it's like you paid 635 for it, you sell it for 700 or 718. There's really like 80 grand equity in that deal. Typically what I'll do is I make like a down payment to your equity, or give you the what I can on that, and then I take over the existing mortgage and the payment to it. So what's like your monthly payment on that, the principal, interest, tax? 35. What is like what is a rental going for in that like a condo in that building right there?
4,500 to 5,000.
Okay, so basically it would be like if I can give you 718. Sorry about that. Hey, stop it. I'm gonna take the call over here real quick in a second. So the way it works is that I pay you just to make sense, is I can put some money down like right. What would be the cash flow? So if I can automatically rent it for 4,500 or 5,000, I could pay you, a little bit different towards your equity as well every month. So I would take over your 630 or whatever the remaining balance is, $3,500 payment. Maybe there's 80 grand in actual equity to you, and I can actually pay you that full amount without having to pay a commission out to a realtor. So I make maybe like a small payment now. I can make 6 months of payments. You're 35 and maybe another 500 or whatever, $600-700 towards your equity, so I can at least make my own money in the deal. And then let's say closer to the end of the year, or when you're ready to buy it, I can either pull a HELOC or like a refinance or balloon you out the difference you're looking for. But that would kind of be like the only way I would be able to bring down that much money is to be upfront, because if I'm buying that market price, the way that will work for me is I use lenders to fund all my deals. So I'll go and borrow money. If I borrow 100 grand, I'm going to owe them a monthly payment for that until I pay them off. And then if I have to pay 3,500, then equity to the remaining balance, and then 100 grand payment or whatever to the lender, I might even make a few $100 in the deal, and then I won't be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna make sense, because I mean, to be honest, if you're buying it at market rate, what's your play, like appreciation? Because
no, so the way it works is like the reason why I can buy properties at market price is so I'll buy and hold it. And the goal is if I have typically I hold it for, a minimum of 5+ years, specifically, especially right now because the economy is shifting. So like in the beginning of the year or last year, I would buy properties the same way. And I could typically refinance them in 2 years. But I know if I buy something right now and try to refinance in 2 or 3 years, that I might not, it might not appraise for the original purchase price. And so that's why I know that I'd rather ride it out till 5 years so the economy can stabilize and then come back up. So during those 5 years, let's say I'd be making that payment, the 3,500 plus the equity to you. And so over, 60 months or whatever it is, 48 months, a lot of interest, a lot of principal gets paid down. So over that time frame, if I needed to pay you out the remaining balance, I could just sell it on the market if I needed. I could refinance it and get a brand new loan for the market price. And now I owe that new loan, but I would be able to clear you out. That would be like the only way it works for me.
Yeah. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah. So and it's a lot of information to consume. So it's kind of like the car business. Like when you sell the house this way, it's kind of like, have you ever financed a vehicle before? Okay, so like the way the sellers get protected in a property like this is that.
Recording in progress.
Anybody got any questions? Meanwhile, Carlos gets back.
Yeah, I got a question right here.
What's going on, man?
So I asked Carlos what his seller finance pitch is, which I wrote down and I'm using. And I also want to find out what he does for subject to and for a innovation. Kind of just skipping those.
You said for finance. What do you mean as finance? Like if you're actually gonna take the property over subject to, like in that aspect, or what do you mean by that question?
Yeah, I just simply want to know what his pitch for subject to is, how he does it when he speaks to sellers.
Well, it just depends on the situation, obviously, whether it's it depends on their pain, and how you're actually able to help them out, whether they need to we need to stop a foreclosure, how it just every situation is a little bit different, so it just really depends on what your approach on that certain situation would be. So, like, I mean, can you give me an example of something that you came across, and maybe I can guide you that way?
No, not necessarily. I watched the video, and in the video was saying how, well, I forgot who it was. Could have been Pace, could have been Laura, but it was someone. It was like a few days ago. I watched it, and then they gave some instructions, right? And one of the things that he said, actually, like the first time, the first thing that he said was that we need to get really, really good at pitching terms subject to innovation, right?
Yeah.
So I already got a few lines from Carlos which he said, tell him the story about the car dealership, because that's what he does, right?
Yeah, story is definitely giving them an example of obviously leasing a vehicle. That's a really good story. I've used that before too. Novation, I've never really done an ovation, so probably Carlos can touch on that for sure.
My bad. My gardeners right here, my dogs are just fucking, it was throwing my mind off. I couldn't remember what to say to him, so I had to walk away, and I just told him, hey, let me restart, because my dogs pissed me off. I was like, I went over it with him, but found out, like, he only owed like $400,000. Like, it was only really quick once I was able to have a straight mind. It took me a few minutes. We're not gonna fit. We're never gonna fit. Like, you would rather list it the whole time. It makes sense. That's why I like to set it. That's why I like to say up front, like, we set expectations. We just try to see if we are going to fit for each other, because then it avoids this. But he has a better chance to just sell it in Miami market price, because people have fucking money right there. There's no way he wants like full market price. I broke it down. I even broke down how I could pay him back in less than a year on some of his equity and this and that. And he was just like, I'd rather, I broke down stuff, and he's like, I could just like fucking blow that at the bar in one night. You give me 10 or 15 grand, 30 grand down. Like, I go to the bars and blow that shit. Like, I was like, damn, you must be a fun person to party with, And then he was just like, yeah, I'd rather list it. I was like, yeah, bro, you know what? You can just list it, because now that I know that, you only owe 400. I mean, bro, just if in the worst case scenario, just fucking take a little discount, and he goes, yeah. So that was it.
Appreciate you taking that call. I was really interested. No, it's good. I was kind of really interested in that, because for me, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's that. And I think what's interesting in bringing something like that into here is like, am I missing something? There's always that, like, what am I not seeing? What are other people doing that can create something? And, when I was talking to him, I was like, I don't really see much happening here. But yeah, I would have liked you kind of coming back, and then we can just watch the whole thing and hear you on the call though.
Yeah,
But,
it's just my dogs are being fucking annoying right now. And it was the gardeners, basically. They always get riled up when the gardeners are here.
Okay, no worries, man.
Hey, Carlos, Rafael, I had a question on, like how do you normally pitch like an ovation, or have you ever pitched an ovation? He's just trying to
all
figure
the
out
time.
like a story on how to kind of pitch it, so he knows. He's just trying to grab a couple of different stories from pitching sub two to pitching an ovation. So he's just trying to figure out how to pitch an ovation.
Got you. So this was Rafael, right? Ralph, you there?
Right, yeah, right here.
Hey, how in your head, in the way that you would pitch it, how would you pitch it so I can kind of see how you understand it?
Basically, I come in with the money to repair the property, and
Like pitch it to me. Like pitch it to
we
me.
conclude.
No, like pitch it to me like if you were gonna pitch it on the phone, so I can kind of hear how you sound, so I can kind of see, because I pitched everything differently than most people. But I kind of want to just see what your knowledge is on it first, so then I can show you what I know about it.
Okay. Okay,
So
awesome.
cool. Go ahead and like just pitch me. Like let's just say I say no, your offer is still too little. I still need $30,000 more. Now go ahead and pitch me.
Awesome. So something that we can do, and we don't really do this all that often, but in certain situations it does work. We can come in, fix the problem for you, so you don't have to pay yourself. And once you sell the property, we split the profit off of how much the value increase of the property. Does that sound like something that you might want to do?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so yeah, it's not bad, right? Like anybody can pitch innovation. The way that I do it, right? I just tell them this, like this is how the scenarios work in innovations. They're more of a last resort kind of thing. And creative financing is last resort. So innovation is like the last resort of last resorts. Innovation is like, let's say this house is worth $300,000. And let's say the homeowner wants $215,000 and every cash buyer is at 180 grand, right? So market value is 300. It needs a little bit of work. They want 215. Everybody's at 180. You're at 180. That's what's going to make sense. Like, so once I find that out, like, yeah, so there's no wiggle room. You got 215. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, listen, like after you already pitch your sub two and everything like that, you pitch all your shit. Hey, like I have like a last case scenario for you. How about I just come and partner with you on this property and I come and renovate it with my crews and I pay with my funds. And then we just sell this together. And then after we pay out our agent, you get the 215 you were looking for and I get the excess. As simple as that, right? That's how I pitch it, like that. Yeah, let me partner with you. How about we just do this? Let me partner with you. Why would you want, if he says, why do you want to partner with me? Because it's best if I come and partner with you. I'm trying to buy it at 180 for it to make sense for me, and you're not allowing me to buy it at 180.
Hold on. Carlos, could you go back there, because I just got logged out for a second.
Oh, I should have been looking at Pond. Yeah. So where did you leave off? Where was I at? Was I already breaking down?
I can come in with my partners.
Okay.
My
so
friends.
Yeah, I would come in and pitch it like this. Hey, you know what? Because I need to be at 180, just like everybody else, and you're still at 215. Seems like you're not trying to budge. I've went all my routes already. Here's another scenario where I can make this work for me. Is if you and I partner together, I come in with my funds and my crews, I renovate this, and we go ahead and list it together, pay the agent together, I'll pay you your 215 and I take the difference. If you were to ask you questions, why would you want to partner with me? What would be the difference? Well, why don't you just buy it at 215? Because 215 doesn't work for me. So if I go and buy it at 215, I'm going to make no money, not even my minimum. I need to make some money, and I need it for free. So in a scenario where, I'm trying to buy it at 180, you don't want to sell it there, and you're trying to sell it at 215, and I don't want to buy it there, right? Where if I'm coming in and partnering with you, so I don't actually have to pay you 215 out of my pocket, and all I have to do is just pay for the renovation. You see how my cash on cash, my return is a lot higher when I'm only paying for the renovation cost on it. Nobody else is giving you 215. Everybody's at 180. I'm at 180. I'm not gonna come up to the 215, but this would be like a final, like the last scenario for us. I'd partner with you at 215. We renovate this puppy, we list it for 300, pay out that agent together. You take the 215, I take whatever's left.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so novation works in last case scenarios like that, where it's like they're literally like 20, 30 grand away from your maximum allowable offer. Like just because you know novation doesn't mean you pitch it. It's like literally like last case scenario type of thing.
Yeah, I think actually now that I think about it, I had one that I don't know if you remember, it was like right when I first started, Carlos. When I think I was calling somebody's list and they pitched novation like right away, and it literally killed the deal. They're like, what do you mean you're gonna come into my house? Nobody's gonna come into my house and fix it. It was like they pitched it like literally like right after we were like, you know, talking about cash. We hadn't even pitched up to, and he was already pitching novation, and it literally killed the deal like quickly.
People get excited, man. Like what happens is people get excited to show off to other people too. And so what's exciting for people is when you start learning these strategies and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to use it. What they forget is how to place it into the call. Like how I tell everybody over and over, you can buy sub 2, you can buy TTP. You can learn all you can about the strategies and be excited. But if you're not putting that much effort in learning how to structure your acquisitions game, you won't know when to plug and play all of those scenarios. So you'll fuck up deals by, oh my God, I have innovation. And then you fucking throw innovation to somebody who doesn't even fucking know what you know. And now you're never going to get in that deal. Right. And so it's cool to learn all that and be excited, but you have to learn when to use it. If you can use it, if it makes sense to use it, if there's a big ass fucking spread off the top, wholesale it. Like some people are like, well, why don't, you know what? Like, why can't I lock it up sub 2? I'm like, because it's such a fucking low number off the bat, you can wholesale and make a lot of money. I mean, you can try to get it sub 2 with a big discount, but most of the time you can just wholesale it, bro. Like, what? It makes no sense. Like, if you want to keep it and get a home run, cool. But most of the time, if you're trying to get a capital gain or something on it, you can either wholesale and do a wholesale if you're getting a big spread. You don't always have to sub 2 deals just because you know it. Depends on what your goals are. I was going over something with a high-end wholesaler who makes a lot of money, and he had a deal where he locked it up. There's like $120,000-$130,000 worth of equity. He was asking me how he can charge a big assignment fee without having to explain it to the seller or to the new buyer. And I told him you can't because we have to actually see what we're financing to what we're paying out. And then I just broke down, like, instead of trying to make fucking 30 grand on this fucking deal, man, there's automatically like $130,000 profit on the deal on your end. Why don't you fucking buy it for the $20,000 down and pay the closing costs? So you're only owed 150 and it's worth 300 fucking grand. You can just automatically sell it on a wrap, man, get the $20,000 back and keep the 130. Or if you want, sell that note after you season it for 2 months and then get 60, 70 grand back at the end of it. If you don't know that and you're just trying to make a quick $30,000 assignment fee, that's cool. But if you gave yourself 3 to 6 months on that deal, you could have paid yourself 60 to 80 grand on the deal. But you don't want to learn that because your strategy is wholesaling. That's cool. But I'm letting you know that if you learned wholesaling and you did this, you could turn the same fucking deal that would have gave you an immediate $20,000 or $30,000 at the close of escrow, could have turned to 80 grand if you gave yourself 3 to 6 months. At the close, you could have got a wrap buyer to give you some money down. And then you could have discounted your note and sold that note in 3 to 6 months to get the remainder out of it. But if you're in a hurry for your money, that's your decision. If you know the strategy, take it and then take every fucking deal. It's about never having a scarcity mindset. I always tell people that you only got one deal, you only have one deal. You're going to try to squeeze the life out of that motherfucker. And everything you're trying to do is all about money because you're worried about it because you don't have enough deals. I'm worried about not having enough lenders for my deals now. It's a good stress for me, right? But the truth is a lot of people don't have deals, so you have to try to squeeze a life out of everything. When you work so many fucking deals, you want to maximize off every deal because you can. Just like people who do 1031s. It makes no sense for you to do a 1031 if you're only doing one property a year because you can do it, but most people need to survive off of their money, right? And so let's say when you're doing 10 homes a year, right? And so in one year you have 120 homes under your portfolio, and you plan to do that probably every year for the rest of your life or only increase it, there's no way you're going to spend all that fucking money right away, especially when you're on the grind, right? So learn to maximize. Okay, you already know every month you're bringing in deals. You know how to pay yourself from lenders upfront a commission or a wholesale fee. If you want to be a smart wholesaler, pay yourself a wholesale fee upfront by your lender and then tax defer that. But if you don't want to learn that, then cool, don't learn it. But I'm just saying, the more you learn about creative financing in all types of scenarios, the more you can maximize off every deal. And I teach people, go and get a lot of fucking deals so you don't have to worry about those 10 or I need 20 grand now or 30 grand now on that deal. That's a good spread. But hey, if you gave yourself 3 to 6 months on that, you could have made 80 or 100 grand. And it wouldn't bother you if you have so many fucking deals that you're working on, because every week you probably got checks coming in. Boom. That's why I'm setting myself up for 90 days. That's why I'm telling you, I'm buying everything, because I have scenarios where I got to sell the notes, keep the wraps, put long-term rental, do short-term rental. I'm not trying to look at it as, oh, I'd rather make an extra 5,000. No, I'd rather hold the asset, fucking hold it for 6 more months, sell on the back and make the other 50 grand and hold half of that into the property and make some money on it. But that's because I see super longevity. Most people can only see day by day, right? I'm already planning out the next 90 days for me to start buying 30 homes a month. Will I get there? We're going to see. I just put it out there, right? But that's in the next 90 days. I want to be buying about 30 properties a fucking month. And I believe we can do it. I don't think it's hard enough, but I need to be prepared for it. And I want to be able to take all the ones that have 20 grand at the end of the whole play after paying everybody out, and the ones that have 100 grand. I want to take them all. That's kind of the game that I'm on. Anybody got any questions? Nobody got questions, huh? Everybody just ready to rock and roll, huh? Let me see.
Send me a warm lead.
Send you a warm lead? That's what you're saying?
No, I'm just playing, man. Don't be doing that.
He ready? Don't be doing that. I was gonna say, anybody who got a hot lead right now, let's hear your boy Willie get on the phone right now and do some live calls.
Hell yeah.
I got a list of leads I can call right now. Let me see. I don't know. Do you guys want to do some Q&A, or do you guys want to do some live calls? I feel like it's been a little bit off. Like I had my dogs fucking ruin things right here, so things are a little bit off right now. Do you guys? I'm open for anything though. I enjoy what I do. So do you guys want to do live calls, or do you guys want to do some Q&As? Do you guys want me to? What can I do? Like, I know that you guys come in here and you guys listen to me, but I don't get enough questions. I don't get enough feedback. You know, I understand I'm bringing you guys value, and I like to talk, and I could probably basically ask all the questions in my own head to give you guys answers that you guys are not asking questions to. But I really want to hear like personal scenarios that you guys need help on in your business or this deal, so I can actually take you to the next level, right? That's my goal here. You guys are here to take advantage of what I'm learning or what everybody else is here is learning. You're not doing yourself a service by sitting down, not asking questions, or maybe you're nervous and not asking questions. If you don't want to ask it out loud, verbalize it, then put it in a message, you know? But, you know, maybe you guys should take yourself off the mic and ask me some questions.
I have a question, Carlos.
There it is.
Huh?
What's up?
When you make a call and they say they're the tenant, do you try to get the owner's information from the tenant, or you just say, you just say, oh, okay, thanks. I mean, how do you handle that when you're contacting the owner, but you're actually contacting a tenant?
You would ask. Yeah, just ask them. The whole thing is like, ask. In every scenario in your life, if you want to get things done, if you feel it too, like if you feel your gut feelings telling you, you have that hesitation, you should be asking it, because in your mind you're thinking about asking it. Even if it's at the end of asking it, you decide, you know what, I shouldn't have asked it. Doesn't matter. Do it. Learn to do it. Learn to take initiative on those. Like, should I have asked them? You should have, if you're thinking that way. Yeah, you should. And here's the thing. He might not give that information because he don't give a shit. He's a tenant, and he probably thinks, especially if you tell him you're trying to buy it, he probably wants to stay there, or she wants to stay there. So it may not work, but at the same time, somebody still might deliver that message.
Okay, thanks.
Hey Carlos, I got a question about seller opposition that we come across a lot with sub two specifically. And it's the mortgage remaining in the seller's name, preventing them from getting a new mortgage to move. And I know, like, I don't know, I've tried to explain like the servicing, loan servicing company will, like, I mean, cover that. But one specific instance, we got the lady said she was previously a mortgage broker and that you need like 6 to 12 months seasoning. Basically proof that the payment's been made through a servicing company before, like, it'll be cleared off your, like, it'll clear up your DTI. So, like, I don't know. Have you come across this, and like, what do you do?
So in the end, it has to achieve their goal. So like, let's say that, because the reality is, I believe that in 3 months, it lifts up 70%, and at the end of the 12th month, we'll release the remaining 30%. So in a scenario where they're like, you know what, like, I need to sell this house contingent to buying my next house. If they don't have, you know, already money saved up for themselves that they can put down, you might not be able to achieve their goal because they might need to sell this house and move into the next one. And so at the same time, you just might not be able to achieve the goal. They need to roll it in. Now, I was asking my partner about, hey, what if in a scenario, what if there was enough equity in that deal, like we got a good deal, where what if I can prepay fucking 12 months of payments so then it seasons it out? Would that work? So we haven't gone in and asked that question to a servicing company. But in a scenario, that would be cool if I can fucking pay 12 months, like let's say it's $1,000 payments and you're getting a really good deal on it or whatever, and they wanted to buy another home. Like, what if you were able to pay fucking 12 months in advance to give that proof, you know? But who knows though? I don't know, because at the same time, there's not a tenant in there that's performing on it. I was just prepaying it myself as the owner. So at the same time, I have to ask those questions, you know, but maybe when I figure that out, I hope that could be something that could be done, because that would be a way to get over that.
Gotcha. All right, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. I had that question a lot too, because you'll find people that are open to it, but in the end, it's not going to work because they need to get their next house, and that sucks because sometimes they're good deals too.
Yeah, well, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Lo,
Man, that was
I'm a little
great
confused
question.
on hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. What's cracking, Anthony?
Yo, so in a scenario, I mean, what are you looking for when like, how would you know you have a wrap or if it's a note deal? I mean, what are you typically looking for?
Yeah, so a note is just like, it's a position on a property. So like when you buy a car, when you buy a house, and somebody is like, you owe somebody, they're holding on a note position. When you own the house and you sell it on seller finance, it's a note position. So all homes have notes. It's about when you get a wrap, you can sell the note. If you're doing long-term rental, you can't sell the note because you have somebody that's leasing it out. You can't sell that note. You have to sell a note like that is basically
So it's all
like,
short term?
Like seller financing it. No, because when you have the note and you sell it to a long-term rent, like if you have, like, let's say I got a house and if I put it for sale on a long-term rental or whatever, like, or let's say I get a tenant in there for long-term rental. When you sell a note, you're creating equity and interest and a monthly payment of cash flow in there. Well, when I'm renting it out on long-term rental, I only have the interest rate that was given to me when I bought the property, right? So like, I had to sell the note already, like, basically created the note into like the equity that I need to go in to sell it. So like, if I buy a house for 200 grand, it's worth 300 grand. I buy it at 200, and I have, even if I buy it cash, right? And I use a hard money lender and I buy it at 4 or 5%. For you to sell your note, you'd have to wrap it and extend the full purchase price, the payments, the interest rate. So when you sell the note, you're selling it to somebody who's receiving an investment, like a return on their money. They're buying it for 100 and something thousand, 200 grand, but there's interest getting paid on their money, and there's a monthly payment to that interest as well. When you don't have that on a long-term rental, you can't sell the note that way because you need to get it all primed up for them.
shit. That's a lot of shit. So when you say you need to wrap it, what do you mean by wrap? I mean, when you say you need to wrap it, what is the process of that? You gotta fucking.
So the way it works is when I buy, like, let's say you buy a house on seller finance, I'm given terms. So whatever terms are given to me, what a wrap is you take the terms that were given to you and then you add yours on top, meaning wrapping your terms on top of the ones that were already given to you. So I buy a house for 100 grand, I buy it for 4%, I make $1,000 payment to that. I wrap it for 150 grand for 8% and charge them 1,500. You see how all I did was just add my difference on top?
Dude, that totally makes sense now. Fuck yeah, okay.
So here's the thing, what some people get confused, because I show you how to break the structure down and go to terms. A lot of you guys don't know how to underwrite or still approximately look at numbers. So the reality is when you can't do that, that's when you just stop what you're doing on the phone before you tank it. And then you say, hey, let me tag in, my financial advisor, my partner who's more experienced in this. Don't try. Here's the thing. How the fuck can you negotiate a deal when you don't know what the fuck you're doing at that part of actually, like there's a wholesale part you understand. There's a part of understanding how to overcome objections for seller finance for sub 2. When it's time to run numbers, if you don't know how to run numbers, then that's why I teach approximate numbers, so I can teach you how to look at it very easily. This is why I teach people to do it quickly, because if other people were to bring out calculators, a lot of you guys would now have to actually put on your hat as an investor and stop thinking as a wholesaler and actually look at all the fucking numbers that go into a deal. And that's why I show you approximate numbers, so you guys can look at it as big chunks of change or small chunks of change, instead of plugging in the calculator and seeing exactly everything, all the dollars that go everywhere. So then you even know if you have a deal. You have approximate good spread, you really have a good number going on. That's why I teach you guys do it approximate. Otherwise, if you're not learning it that way, in your head, when you guys start to get to somebody who's actually open to terms and they say, what are you open to? You're probably like, fuck, how much money do you need down? And let's say they say 30 or 40 grand, and in your head, because I've taught you to always try to go for 5 or 10, you decline 40, but do you even know if 40 would work? Because 40 could probably work depending on what the spread is or how long you're getting the loan for. But if you don't know that, no reason for you to confidently shoot it down, because you don't know if that's a deal or not. You can't claim that. So meaning don't move forward if you can't claim that shit. Same thing. Anytime and that's why you tag somebody in. So then you hear me go over the way that I do it, and then the light bulb turns on. And then the next time you're in the same scenario, you understand exactly a little bit further on the next one. Like some people think just because we combine them on terms that we should automatically give them the full price they're asking. Not true. Always negotiate, always make things sweetened. But if you are like, and I talk to a lot of wholesalers that don't know creative finance and that are learning it on their own. And a lot of them are buying like at market because we can, but the thing is what they're forgetting is they're buying at market and then still getting a lot of money down, a high assignment fee. It needs a lot of work on the property. And that's why I always try to have a lot of them come in here, because I show them, look, if you lock up a deal at market price, the way it works for most people, that's a good book right there. It's just split the difference, never split the difference. But what happens for most people is that if you lock up a property at full price, at market price, you can still sell it, but you want like the lowest amount of money down because you're going all the way up to the market price. Now maybe there's a full renovation, right? Well, then don't lock it up at full market. It still makes no sense. Don't go and lock it up at 50%, but lock it up at 80%. So you give yourself a fucking window still. Most people think on the bat, oh, I could pay full price and pay this and max out here and max out here, because they actually don't know the strategy, which is totally fine. That's why I don't mind breaking it down. But that's the first initial thought process. Is some people I've had, like literally, like even last week, I had even an experienced wholesaler. It was like, hey, I'm trying to charge like, what was like 35, it was like this morning, like 35 grand on a deal. And I said, well, what are the entry fees? And it came out to like 85 grand. And I was like, what's the spread from purchase to market? And he was like 100. And I was like, that's going to be hard only because there's not much spread. So if somebody's using a lender, it's going to be hard for them to get them out of that deal unless their lender's giving them a long term and there's principal pay down during the time. So now if you had $150,000 spread in that deal, that would make sense for somebody to pay you a lot more. Like I don't mind paying a lot on a sub 2 deal,
if there's a good spread in the deal for me, like if somebody's asking for 30 grand, I don't mind paying 30 grand. If it's like, hey, the purchase price is 150, the ARV is 300 grand. And maybe there's 20 grand in renovation costs. Maybe there's $10,000 down, so there's 30, and they want 30,000 for themselves, right? And I know that I can wrap it, right? So it's going to cost me 60,000 plus closing costs, maybe 65 grand, but there's still 65 grand. There's still, out of the 150 spread, there's still 70,005 or $85,000 in the deal. You get me? And so I would fucking pay somebody 30 grand to still pick up $85,000 in equity after paying out my lenders and everybody out. That's when I can pay. And as soon as you start understanding that, that's when you're going to start to negotiate the way I tell you, so you guys can actually sweeten the deal, so you guys can maximize your wholesale fee. Because the cash on cash return is what we look at it as end buyers, because we're having to use somebody else's cash or our own cash. And the more you guys understand that as wholesalers who are trying to wholesale sub 2 deals, the easier it becomes for you to sweeten out the deal. And when you get stronger at learning what the exit strategy can be for that end buyer, the easier it is for you to say, yeah, I want $30,000 for the deal. Why do you want so much? Well, let me show you. Here's the proposal, and I actually broke down the best strategies for you to do. If you were to do long-term rental, you're bringing in $1,800 a month. If you wrapped it, you can bring in $2,000. We locked it up at $1,000 monthly payments. That's $1,000 spread. Though it has a high payment, automatically have $1,000 cash flowing spread, like net to you. And then you might have 30, 40 grand of equity after them paying all this money out to the deal. And so that could be a deal depending on your buyer. And so that's why I was like, you know what, if I can find more people who are hungry locking up sub 2 deals is doing it wrong. If I bring them in here, I would want to bring them in here because I want to be their buyer, because I'm going to teach them how to fucking lock it up the way I lock it up. I don't mind paying higher. You give me like a little no interest. You give me a deal that's going to make me money. Dude, I'll make you money every single fucking time. But when you bring me a deal that it's worth 200 grand and you lock it up for 180, it needs $30,000 in renovations. You want $20,000 in assignment fee, has a closing cost of $6,000, fucking holding costs of 2 or 3 months, all this type of shit. Then a lender's fucking commission on top. Where do I make money? And they don't see that. They don't pay attention to, hey, I need to sell this to the end buyer, but they don't actually care for the end buyer. They're not like, hey, I want you to make money too, Carlos. And so that's why when after 2 or 3 deals, if you'll notice, if you start sending me deals without any meat on the bone, and then you're coming into these Zooms and I'm showing you how I lock up deals, and you keep sending me deals that have no meat on the bone, that's how I never open them no more. That's how my messages never get opened and my emails never get opened, because I'm actually even going over the way that you should be locking them up. And it's like, if you're not paying attention and just sending them over with no meat on the bone. I had somebody yesterday who sent me over fucking 3 deals, and all of them are around the same price, like 260 grand. They all needed like $25,000 of work, and the ARV was 310. 310. So from 265 to 310, in my fucking head, where does that make sense at all? On a cash deal. But some people don't. Hey, be quiet. And that's a reality. Not that it's a bad thing. It's cool. People are taking action. It's just now taking the right action. And if you guys have friends that are locking up deals like back to back, that means they're hungry, but they're bad. Bring those motherfuckers in here, so then we can structure them the way that we can structure our deals, so then we can buy them all from them and actually benefit them. Because what's going to happen is they're going to continue to lock up these sub 2 deals and never get them gone because they don't understand it.
Carlos, I have a suggestion. I personally am a person that I learn only if I see it in writing. An advice, like something, a recommendation, suggestion, however you want to call it. Can you please, because when you speak so fast, and most of the time I catch a few things, but most of the time the rest are gone. If you would put a board on the back and then do a couple of samples, slowly breaking them down so that we can, actually, understand, comprehend, see it. It will be easier for us to capture all of the information that you have. Because when you speak, again, you're saying it, but my mind, because I'm a newbie, it's like, what?
No, for sure. And here's one thing to help you guys out, right? Like one thing, what I did was like, I don't mind spoon feeding. That actually helps people out to the best. Pace Morby does it. Brent Daniels does it. We spoon feed people, right? We have to break down everything. What helped a lot of people really is if after you learn a little bit about a wrap or a little bit about notes or what creative financing is is if you do yourself a justice and go into YouTube or go into buy some books about wraps and creative financing. So then you catch up all the meat and potatoes. So when we get back onto it, it's understandable. Like, and I'll give you an example. Like when I met my mentor or Pace Morby, I don't go on a lot of Zooms to see what he breaks down. My mentor, not once have we gone on a Zoom and actually wrote things down, but because of the way that I knew that since I'm responsible for myself and I want to be mature and professional, I want to go ahead and right after when he starts talking about wraps, I went out and got books. I went in YouTube. I went and studied it. So when I came back, I no longer was completely lost. And that's the same thing that what's going to help you guys move a lot quicker is doing that. But I don't mind actually breaking that down. I do want to get a whiteboard. I mean, I don't have anything right now to put up. I'm not sure if there's an app where I can do that until I get some flow coming in and I can buy like an iPad and do that. That would be the best because everybody does see visually and everybody wants to learn that way, which is the best way. But in a scenario where I don't have it, is there
Maybe a whiteboard effect on here on the Zoom? I think there's
I think you can do it in here.
Let's try it.
It may be a lot of work.
Hey, yo, Los. Hey, thank you, bro, for clarifying that wrap for me, bro. That it makes a lot of sense now. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll break down more wraps because I love wraps, right? I can break down wraps like all day and how to sell the notes and break them up. Where do I go for this fucking whiteboard thing at? Let me see if I can do it right here.
It's like under the meeting. It's like a new whiteboard thing.
So the wrap is basically, the wrap is like you're the milkman, like he said. You're buying milk, you get the milk from the farmer, you get it, resell it to Walmart, and they're rewrapping it. Everybody's getting paid.
100%.
Hey,
like that.
Hey, I just want to interject real quick and say something. Carlos, man, I instead of using a whiteboard, dude, I got a calculator. I got a calculator I'll share with every damn body on here. And if we can work with that, I'm telling you, dude, it'll be super easy for everybody to understand what's going on.
You can share your calculator. We're gonna have to. A lot of people are like. Remember, a lot of people in here are. A lot of us are YouTube University students, so like a lot of us don't know how to use amortization calculators or calculators yet. So you would have to give like a little 20 or 30-minute demo for everybody, and then give the link so then everybody can see how to use it like as quickly as possible. That would really help out. Ooh, so we could do something like that.
I can definitely do that. That's the calculator I was telling you that I was working on earlier this year. I did go ahead on and finish that. So I could actually, I mean, it's so easy to use. We could actually do it right now when I get in house. I just got off the highway, but I'll pull up my screen or I'll make you, I'll give you access to it and you can do it. It's literally, you just plug and play with, I mean, it's got everything but crayons and ponies. It's super easy. And I'm not saying that a lot of people say that, but this shit is super simple. You just literally, what's the square footage? You know, what's the ARV on it? You just literally putting it in. The calculator is doing all the calculating. There's nothing for you to figure out.
Oh, I'm with it. And here's another thing, guys. If you guys really want to learn creative financing, it is next level shit. So if you guys are wholesalers in here and you think that you're gonna get this overnight, it takes a little bit of time, right? And what happens is, let's say we're not having Q&A like right now, and let's say we don't do it for the next 3 or 4 days because a lot of people don't want to ask questions. How much really are you getting out of this? How much are you really learning because it's so broken up, right? And so that's why I tell a lot of people, if you want to learn the quickest, go consume more information on your own after with these Zooms. Go and watch yourself. If not, I can break it down, but that's why I always try to ask you guys, what are your guys' questions? And a lot of people stay quiet. And that's why I'm trying to say, I want to help you guys out. I want to be able to do it, but most people just stay quiet in the sidelines. I don't mind it. The ones who are actually being active are the ones actually doing deals, but I can also help you and give you guys all the answers that I need if I'm not getting questioned.
But you have to take also in mind, you know, like and I speak for me, you know, like how are we gonna ask questions if we don't know what to ask? Sometimes, you know, like we don't know
Exactly.
what
That's why the extra studying comes in. That's why coming in daily or watching the YouTube videos. The reality is, Carla, if you're here 5 days a week, you would know a lot more. And I understand that everybody has their own schedule. So the reality is, everybody has to work on their own schedule. So if you have to go and watch YouTube videos, recordings of these things, go on YouTube on your lunch break, that's up to your own time frame, right? So coming in here, and I can answer every time you're in here. I don't mind it. That's why I'm here. But I'm just letting you guys know the best way for you guys to catch up is to always try to do your own knowledge on your own research behind the scene. So it becomes easy, because learning for me, I could teach it. It's just, it'll be very slow from every time where I left off on your last question. And if you're trying to learn everything from creative financing from me, you know, you'd have to wait till every time I answered one of your questions to get it. And that would just take a while. So a lot of what you can do is also read and study. And Pace Morby is like the best, like way better than I am at breaking this down. And he breaks it down on a lot of YouTube channels. That a lot of that actually helps bring up so much. I mean, it catches you up to speed so much. Now, I do know that having like a whiteboard or something would probably be super easy for you guys to start to understand it when I start writing numbers. I'm trying to figure out how to find that whiteboard on this thing, on this fucking app.
Hey, Carlos, if I can add to that real quick, I do want to add, you know, me and Mike were kind of conversating in the chat. It is also putting in hours outside of, you know, the meetings, the morning meetings, the afternoon meetings. You know, for example, like honestly, right now, like I'm working my leads, you know, I'm trying to close them, and I've come a long way. I've learned very quickly, but at the same time, I wake up at 5:30, you know, read my book for an hour, and then jump into the morning role plays. After that, you know, just pretty much, I got a bunch of, you know, Dustin CRM. I got another guy that I'm working with, Left Coast, you know, taking care of those leads on call tools. And I won't leave my office until like 8 or 9. And even when I do, like just to go back to my room and just hang out until I fall asleep, like I find myself watching videos like Pace Morby or even Carlos. Like, you guys go back to the YouTube videos and watch those, because they do help. They are like, there's a bunch of gold in there. So, you know, do your own research. Like it gets frustrating sometimes for my lady, because she's like, you don't give me no time, blah blah blah. But it's just a reality. Like, I want to learn at a quick pace, like Carlos is trying to teach us, and I'm making sure that I'm putting in the hours that I need to be up to speed with the top dogs. Because if not, you're gonna get left behind, and that's just the reality of it.
So like, here's one thing, Jesus, too. I met Jesus like last month, and he's like 4 months into real estate, and he was a lead generator, like nothing about real estate. He's super advanced now. He sounds like he's been doing this for a long time, because he does all the extra shit that I tell people to do besides the basic stuff that I teach you. He does all the extra, so that's why he sounds like he's already moving forward. And today we had a conversation. He was a little frustrated on a couple of deals last night, and he felt like they weren't going right. And I said, this is why I want you to do more deals, so you can get situations where you're stuck. You should have asked these questions right when you first had them. And so he asked these questions, and I responded with answers that cleared it up for him. And then I told him, look, because you're working super hard and you see other people coming in and out, it might be closing a deal or two right before you. Don't worry about it. Sometimes it's just the lead that was the right lead. But what happens is you're not understanding that you're consuming so much information and so much time, and you feel like you've put in enough work, but you were never a salesman or negotiator. You were never a business guy, and you were never in real estate. I'm green as fuck. I'm brand new to real estate. I know sales and acquisitions because I've spent 10 years. That's why in fucking that field. But other than that, I'm green in real estate. So I told him, if I'm telling you I'm green and I sound seasoned, bro, you're fucking super green. You need to relax. You need to fucking put in real work. Go ahead and do what you're doing now, but do it for a couple of years and watch what happens. If you do this type of performance, in 1 year, Jesus will outbeat people who've been doing this shit for 10 years, because I'm also not telling him how to outwork people behind the scenes. I'm just also showing him high level skills in acquisitions. We're learning how to do creative financing. He's learning all of this shit. I talk to a lot of sub-2 students, or I talk to actually a lot of you new students who already understand the structure. But I talk to a lot of sub-2 students, man, that fucking are like shitty on the phone. Even though they know all the strategies and know more than some of you, they're crappy on the phone. It isn't going to help anybody. That's why I just focus on closing deals. That's the best I can do. And if you guys want to learn everything about creative financing, best ways, or join Sub 2, watch him on watch Pace Morby on YouTube. And then when I'm available, ask me questions, but I am not the most skilled at Sub 2 or investing just yet.
Hey, Carlos,
Yo, just to,
go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to touch on what Jesus was saying. It's Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
brother.
putting in that, putting in that extra work. It's true. I mean, you know, you gotta get out of that 9 to 5 mentality. And like he says, you know, I have a family too, and you know, I have 4 kids, I have a wife, you know, but I put in the time, you know, I put in the extra hours. You know, it's hard, but you gotta tell your family, hey, I'm making a sacrifice now so that we can enjoy our money later. You know, it's getting out of that 9 to 5 mentality. You want to be a business owner, you're getting out of the 9 to 5, but you're actually going to be working more. You know, if you really want to be a business owner, you got to get out of the 9 to 5 mentality, and you got to be ready to work 24 hours. It's just that's just the difference. That's what's going to separate you from the big dogs. You know, like there's people out there that are on social media, and you know, they look good, but when it comes down to, are they really putting in the work? And you talk to some of those people, you know, the people that are really putting the work behind the scenes are the ones that are going to be that much better than those guys. And I know Carlos knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like, and here's the reality, right? Like, all of this is for fucking free, right? Like, I give a lot of my time for free, not in a bad way. I'm not saying a bad way. So I'm telling you guys that it's for free, and I'm bringing as much value that you guys could easily pay for. And then I tell you guys a lot of the same stuff. Why don't you go out there and read a little bit about it, so when you come in, you understand more? Why don't you do the extra service for yourselves? When I say spoon feed, I literally spoon feed. How I learned from my mentor is very fucking minimal, and I've learned so much because I'm the way I'm going to explain myself is going to sound a little bit tough on myself. So when I say it to myself, don't think I'm saying it to you guys as this, but quite frankly, I'm tired of being a little bitch and a little fucking pussy. I'm tired of having my hand fucking held because I'm too fucking scared to do these things. I'm tired of fucking not calling sellers and going the fucking distance before I pass it off to a mentor if I need to, which I don't need to, but I'm giving you guys scenarios. I'm tired of having to fucking be spoon fed, of having to do everything because I'm too fucking scared to have to depend on fucking people. I'm tired of that shit. That's why now everybody wants to fuck with me, because I'm tired of being a little baby and having to fucking every time come in here and give you my complaints about why I didn't learn something, when I could have easily used fucking free resources like YouTube and Google and read fucking books that I could have paid for. But most people want the fucking answer for shit that they can understand common sense to. And like in today's world, the reason why shit like that happens is because everybody wins trophies now, first and second and third fucking place, right? And same thing when we get into Sub 2. Like I could now understand Pace Morby when he gets upset. Like, oh my God, I try to bring as much value and you guys don't ever fucking pay attention. And all these things over and over is maybe it's too much value for somebody to consume. Maybe they just don't fucking actually put the time in because they don't know how to change themselves into being a performer. What happens is this: you go and spend $10,000 on a mentorship. If you don't become a high performer, it's a waste of $10,000. If you go and spend $10,000 and then become a high performer, then that 10,000 turns into millions of dollars. And then you'll meet people who've joined 10 fucking programs, spent all this money thinking that the program is where it's at. It's really about banking on the jockey, not the horse. But people don't fucking ever do that. And so what I was trying to bring it up as, not that I'm saying in a general state, but I was tired of being a fucking pussy, and I was tired of making fucking excuses, and I was tired of hearing all these little fucking things why I couldn't do it. And I didn't want to get this fucking shiny object syndrome. So I just was like, fuck it. I'm going to go learn as much as I can. I'm going to go and fucking read and study as much as I can. I get opportunities. I bring it up to people who are further than me. And every time I was scared, I didn't fucking, well, can you break it down any better? Can you do this? No, because I understand that I got somebody in front of me who's a fucking big dog and who's giving me their time. So what I'm going to do respectfully is I'm going to go and fucking study some more. So on the next time I go and talk to them, I understand what the fuck's going on. And I don't have to have them fucking spoon feed me just the basics, just the fucking definitions. I want to spoon feed you how to fucking break down the strategies, not the most fucking basic shit. Go and learn the fucking basics. We're grown-ups here. I'm saying this in general. I'm not saying it to you guys. I'm just saying that this is how I talked to myself for a while. I was tired of some pussy shit like that. And if a lot of you guys feel the same way, it's time to let go of being so fearful of yourself and fucking go for it. Where you guys are already fucking all in. You guys already spent money. You guys are all in, putting all your fucking time, getting yelled at by your spouses. You already fucking lost a lot of fucking money, lost a lot of time. Here's the next step. You're going to continue to lose time and continue to waste money if you don't improve. Meaning, if you're working deals and they're never going to be fucking deals and you're trying to pass them off to somebody, you're hoping on somebody to change what you couldn't fucking do. That's why we teach you how to do it all the way right here. And so when people bring leads, I expect them to bring leads the way that we train you guys. Like, hey, bring up opportunities. Don't go bring a cold fucking lead. A cold lead, anybody can fucking work like 100% on their own. I want to teach you guys to take advantage of shit, leverage yourself. If you guys are working deals like for sale by owners, and then people will bring you leads all the time, and it's like, oh, I got this opportunity. Cool. What's the deal? Break it down to me. Oh, you didn't even talk to them? How am I supposed to help you? Oh, you want me to walk you through the whole deal and pay you a big portion on that whole deal? I'm doing everything. To me, it doesn't make sense, right? But because I'm open to saying, hey, I can help you out. I also break down and structure how. Line it up. Come in here and teach. Let me teach you how to line it up. Fucking bring it over to me prepared, ready to go. And still, it's like if people are hearing it right here and letting it go right here, and they're bringing me deals that are like not even fucking close, not even close to being a deal. And I don't mind it because maybe that person didn't hear me say it. So I say, hey, I don't mind calling that thing, but I would prefer it if the person became stronger and did more acquisitions in here. That's where I train the best. If not, you want to learn everything about creative finance, go to sub 2. If not, you want to learn everything about wholesale, go to TCP or all in. But if you want to learn how to close and have the right mindset, that's the best that I can teach right now at this moment. And that's what I do. And so if you want me to work some of your leads, come in here and actually structure yourself the way that I've shown. And I know you guys are seeing me post a lot of fucking people getting success in here. That's because they're sticking to the structure of what I'm teaching. And that's why they're having success. You know why the people that are continuing not to have success? It's because they're not adjusting themselves to the structure that makes sense. Kind of like they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They just got to buy the wheels from me. But instead, they're trying to fucking reinvent it when they don't know nothing about it yet. Right. And so in reality, it's the same thing here. I didn't have to reinvent how to wholesale. I learned it from one person, fucking TTP, right? Same thing for creative financing. I learned it from there. But all I do differently is teach how to close and with a different structure. And that's probably why some sub 2 students that are come over here, because in the nightly dial, it's just calling and then giving you feedback. We're not actually breaking down, hey, I need you to do this and then do this and then do this before you go to this. And then when you're done with this, rule this out and then rule this out, rule this out. We're not doing that in the nightly dial. What we're doing is just giving you feedback after your call. That's it. And so that's why when you start coming here and we start breaking down our structure and you start to see, oh shit, just like Eric Kiefer, how he was here for 5 days, probably the fastest fucking powerhouse student to in 5 days lock up his first deal that he's buying. For fastest fucking testimony in here. I have had faster people lock up deal, like Josh, first fucking phone call with me deal, and then Cameron, third day deal, and then Michael 2 or 3 weeks later deal, right? But this Eric guy, 3-4 days in, he's fucking buying a deal by using the same structure that we had fucking given him here, verbatim, right there, like that. And that's why I'm like, hey, I don't mind you going to pitch things the way that you pitch things, but if it wasn't working and you see it work, the structure I'm pitching with my team, maybe it's time for you to switch what you're doing and come over here and just try something brand new. Erase how you normally do things is what I'm asking you to do. Erase it, no matter if your friend fucking taught you, maybe your fucking mentor who never taught you shit, but you paid for his program. Erase that shit when you come into here and let me teach you the new way, the way that's been working for us. It's going to continue to work for us, and how it's been working wonders for everybody else who's been trying to do this for a whole year. They come in here and they just listen to one structure. They already know wholesaling, creative financing. I'm just teaching them how to fish. That's all it is. And that's what I basically want you guys to do. I don't want to like break it down and like put like, hey, go and talk to yourselves as like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm a baby. I was just giving you my mindset of how I started talking to myself and then started working towards my shit. Makes sense, guys.
Yeah, that makes sense. Only so I sent you that link if you want to check it out. It's up to you though. And it's not to confuse anybody. I don't want anybody to think that they have to have this calculator or anything like that, but it will give somebody a visual reference point of what your idea of a good deal looks like. And I feel like it shouldn't be any questions after that.
But just put it right here in the side chat. Click it. I will have you come up and like sometime next week break it down. And let me see if I can pull something up real quick.
Yeah, I can't put it in the side chat just yet because I'm still working on some things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Carlos, if it's not too much to ask, do you think you can give us a screen sharing of a contract to see how the contract is structured?
Which contract?
Whatever contract you use to lock a property for a subject to, let's say.
So for a sub 2, you can use any purchase sale agreement, a cash like as is purchase sale agreement, and just take the cash part and just write seller finance or sub 2 and then put in the terms. Like I don't mind like showing you guys how they look, but I have respect for like my mentor, and part of our program is we don't give out that contract that we paid for, and plus it's part of our like agreement with him that you can get sued and shit for doing stuff like that. I wouldn't give a fuck. I don't mind sliding it to people, but in reality, if I didn't have as much respect for this guy and for him changing my life, I just respect his decision on why I don't hand them out or show them to people. But I can go over some of the important stuff for you. But in reality, you can lock up any deal on any purchase sale agreement, and then on the cash is price, you can. I've seen it happen way before I met sub 2. I've seen Omar lock up deals on seller finance and use the same contract. It's just obviously Pace Morby has paid through time, so that he's protecting himself all the ways. In every single scenario, he has all the writing in there and the verbiage in there to protect us. But anybody can write a seller finance deal. I bought a seller finance deal from a realtor in Newport Richie that we didn't even use my sub 2 contract because the broker didn't allow it. So they used their same shit, and then they crossed out cash as is and put the additional terms and put purchasing property subject to existing mortgage, put the purchase price, the payment, the interest rate, and then put the also paying out this % to commission. And that's all it was. Same thing. So you guys can break them down on your guys' realtor contracts or any cash contract. You can just adjust them and write in the terms on it.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yo, I'm about to jump. I gotta hop into Dustin's Zoom.
Dustin Zoom? Oh yeah, he's doing the CRM. I'm trying to see the file section real quick on this thing. I want to see if I can bring up Cameron's seller questionnaire real quick.
All right.
No, I mean, you can jump out. No worries.
All right, man. I'll catch everybody later. Y'all have a good night.
Take it easy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to share my screen real quick. I'm gonna bring up this questionnaire once it loads up real quick and show you guys how basically easy if you use this questionnaire that Cameron just input, basically how I speak and verbalize the structure. He wrote it down on a piece of paper and made it easy, just created a Word document out of it. Just trying to load it up real quick. Okay, so share screen. So check this out. So let's see, here we go. So I'm gonna edit it and put basically two questionnaires on one piece of paper so you can maximize on it. But I'm just gonna edit it just a little bit so it simplify it for everybody. But basically this customer or seller questionnaire should help you ask all the questions and keep you on structure. And so right when you're off the bat, right, you probably already know the name right here, right? So like this is just for you to like have a sheet of them. But once you have you're gonna have all this information up front: name, phone, address, probably all this stuff. What happens is when the phone goes and it rings, this keeps you on track, right? Hey, you have your motivation right here. So you're going to ask the questions in order the way that we do the structure. Now I'm going to add something to this, but typically the way that we do this is right when we jump on the phone, we automatically introduce ourselves and then follow up with some type of question that asks why they're selling, right? So what's got you considering selling? And we're going to go ahead and whatever it is, we're going to write down whatever we're trying to write down in here. And this will be a piece of paper in front of you, so you can actually write it on a pen and paper. But I'm going to have a section to right after the motivation. It's going to say set expectations, and that should mean to you guys like, hey, I may or may not be your buyer, right? You're setting expectations, and I'll simplify it. But the way that I'm going to break this down should help you guys where you guys don't even really need nothing else but this piece of paper that will remind you the simple questions that keep you on structure. So I'm going to have it where after you talk about the motivation and pain, I'm going to have it where under that's going to say set expectations. And then under that, let them know how your business model works. So you guys remember right off of the motivation, the next thing would be hey, I just want to let you know right up front that I may or may not be your buyer. Unfortunately, I can't buy everything, but I have intentions of it. And then right under the expectations, I'm going to put, see if they work with your business model. Hey, I just want to let you know, see if we're even going to have a fit for each other so we don't waste any more time. How I buy properties, several ways, but I prefer to buy them cash. When I buy them cash, I look for properties that need some work. So I buy them in the as-is condition, and I can turn them for a profit on the market. Now that I said that, are you looking to list this for a premium or sell as is to a business model like mine? They tell you, no, I'm looking for a premium. Cool. End the phone call. Don't go in. This is where people get stuck and they bring me a lead and I get back on that phone and like in 2 or 3 minutes it's over because I go and do this part for them. And that's why I tell you like the structure is on point because it actually helps you out. And so right after the motivation pain, you have the expectations. I'm going to be putting in there. You're going to have, are you working with my business model? Once you've already passed through that, it's time to go through the timeline. Hey, so now that I know that we're going to be compatible, whatever you're going to say to them, how long do you need to sell this house to vacate it, to get the tenants out? Well, whatever. I'm going to reverse the condition and the price part because we're going to go into condition, and then after you go over all the conditioning and you figure out how much it's going to take, we're going to roll into the price. Then under the price, I'm going to have you pitch your maximum allowable offer. And you guys already know how I teach you how to confidently do it 50 to 60% right now because of the market. Then when that doesn't work, I'm going to have you have another question, like a response question where it'll say, how close to my number can you get? And then from there, it's going to roll into this right here, the option side. I mean, I'm going to adjust it so it can be perfect for you guys. This was made by Cameron, but I'm going to then have adjusted so I can say, rule yourself out as a cash buyer confidently, just like I teach you guys on the phone and show you guys every day. Then right here at Realtor, these little things to just remind you, okay, ask them to list it next. This would say rent it instead of reno, but ask them to rent it next and then pitch terms. And that right there, that's all you basically need to get yourself structured on any fucking deal. Now, any story they're telling you is going to be additional for you to bring up and write down. So then you can use that towards the close. This doesn't teach you how to be the closer. This teaches you how to keep onto a structure. Now you learning to listen to how other people close deals and then coming in and learning and practicing is going to give you the confidence to close. But this simple piece of paper, once I adjust it, will basically be the structure all you need to get through any fucking deal. Go ahead and stop. You guys can download that from the Facebook group that Cameron posted it. Yeah.
Thanks for explaining that. I was actually kind of confused about that, but broke it down pretty badass, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why. and that's why, and I'm big on it because I come from a negotiation background and sales background. I was always taught to fact find, and like if I came up to my closer, I come from a background of like hardcore. Like Ben and I come from a background of car sales where you come up to somebody with no fucking deal. I swear to you, this is how it goes. Cool. Hey, did you bring me the purchase price on it? Did you guys talk numbers? No. Did you get any of their credit? No. Did you get down like a payment? No. Cool. Get the fuck out of here. Hey, Jeremy, come over here. I'm going to give you 50% of this deal. That's how we learn. That's why we're a little bit different. You guys, I'm teaching you guys spoon feeding fucking opportunities, which is totally cool. Don't take it bad. I'm just saying that Ben and I, we came from a different background where it was very aggressive. And if I didn't come up to you with almost everything, I even felt nervous that I was going to get yelled at. That's how much our fucking our fucking like desk managers or closing managers were.
That was called the Hello Tio. That was the Hello Tio.
Hello Tio.
You know what I'm talking about, Carlos?
Hello Tio, yeah. And dude, like
that was a Hello Tio. That means they're gonna get D from the deal.
Yeah, get shit from the deal, man. Out of the deal, man. But that's why right here, like stick to the structure. So then when you first start to feel good because you start to understand how to structure yourself in the deal. But second, if you ever need help, you're bringing over this deal basically prepared, a seasoned steak for a master chef to throw on the grill. But if you go in and don't get it prepared and you go over to this fucking master closer, this master chef, and you're not preparing him for shit, it's going to take a lot of time and frustration, more of a waste of time. And that's why I come in and show you, hey, go over this structure. Very simple. Yesterday, I proved it to you guys on the phone, and the day before, and last Friday when we did it and closed the deal, and the Friday before that when we closed the deal live, and I think the Friday before that when we closed the deal live. All of those, I did the same fucking structure. I think even yesterday was perfect. I went over the structure, went on a fucking phone call, and literally broke down the same exact fucking structure, nothing different. And we basically just had to send them over blank documents of the purchase sale agreement before they make a decision if they want to sell to us. But if that goes well, that's another fucking deal that we locked up yesterday off of the structure, same structure. Do you guys have any questions?
It's a signature statement that you were aware of.
What can I help you guys out with? I guess I'm not going to do seller calls today. So what can I do for you guys? What can I break down? Somebody show me how I can get to this little whiteboard thing. How do I define that on here?
Carlos, would you mind breaking down the shallow port rack that you said you were gonna do?
The house that I'm buying from you?
Yeah. Would you mind breaking down how you're gonna wrap it?
Yeah, actually, I just made a proposal on it. Very simple. Very simple proposal to one of my buddies, so I can just get it funded. But let me see if I have it right here, actually.
She said these will probably come in about 2 weeks.
So
It looks like she ordered about 3 to 5 50
okay, I made it very simple. Usually if this was somebody I didn't know, I would have fucking broke it down step by step so they don't have any questions. I make it easy for my lenders who I haven't worked with before, but I know this guy personally from where I live. I've done wholesale deals with him. Like I know all his friends, like we're local. We're just in the same business. So this is like a proposal for the deal that I'm working on, that I'm buying from you and Lauren. So very simple. Usually it's a lot like I describe exactly how I make my money and shit like that. So they're gonna ask me those questions. So here's this deal right here. Seller finance deal, purchase price 170 grand, right? ARVs 215 to 220. So here's the terms, and I don't have to break down exactly what the terms are to my lender. So like you know how it's like.
Well, you never know.
Who's mic's on?
Well, thank you so much. You're very welcome. Have a nice evening. You as well. Thank you.
Whatever. So here it is. So the terms is $15,000 down, and then our real terms is like they're gonna stay there for 60 days after we close, and then we give them 500 at the close, like it's their EMD, and then in 60 days we give them the remaining 14,500. But this one I don't have to show that to the lender. It doesn't matter, right? So $15,000 down. Hey, who can turn off their whose mic's on? Turn off the mic. Whose is it? I think it's yours, Jeremy. Can you turn off your mic? There we go. So,
I'm sorry, but who would put
don't even
something
worry.
like this in their hand?
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Hold this? I don't know. Would you hold that?
It's an octopus, sir.
Okay. So check it out.
Yeah, what is
Hey,
that?
Josh, are you there? Josh, can you mute everybody? Thank you. All right. So here it is. Here's a purchase price, $170,000. That's what I'm getting this deal from or for. ARV is 215 to 220 right now. I found 3 to 4 comps in the area that it's sold around this price. So my plan is to wrap it. So then in 2 months or a month from now, if the prices come down, I can still sell it on seller finance to somebody for a higher price because I'm giving them an opportunity. So here's my terms on it: $15,000 cash to the seller, remaining finance amount $155,000. I got a 30-year amortization with 5-year balloon on it, 2.5% interest rate. I like this interest rate a lot. I like it. Monthly payment, I like to be at 4% or less. Obviously 0 is the best, but if I can get in between here, I like being right here. Principal and interest, $612.44. Here's my exit. Here's a wrap. Sales price, I'm selling it for 230 terms. I'm gonna ask for 10,000, more or less. Some people give me more money down. $10,000 down. Finance $220,000 at 8% interest over a 30-year amortization. Market rent is 13 to 14, but I'm not doing long-term rental. A wrap is and I checked the actual market right now for rent. 16, 17, 1800 is something that you can achieve for a house like this. I'm gonna wrap it for 220 at 8%. I can go higher if I want. I'm just gonna be at 8%, so I don't have to look at the cap, like what type of cap rate there is out there, that if there's a certain cap on interest you can charge. But 8% on $220,000 over a 30-year term is a $1,615 payment. So right off the bat, you see the cash flow that I'm going to make on this property from what I'm owed, what I'm paying to what I'm going to make every month on it. I'm going to make $1,000 a month on this deal. The only thing is, and I didn't even look at that part for some reason. I didn't even look at it until I drafted the proposal. But where I was like, I'm like, okay, there's not too much money on the equity after all my entry fees. And so then I had a long conversation with my mentor, Brad, last week to talk about lending, because I was running out of lenders that gave me like a year plus time. And so I'm like, dude, I only have lenders that can fund some of these deals, but they're only giving me 6 months. So I went over like worst case scenario, if there's no spread or a big amount of money in the deal to pay them back on that same deal, how the fuck can we get a lender out if all I need to do is just fund deals? And we have a lot of deals coming in. I just need people to fund them. What would be 2 ways if we couldn't pull a HELOC, refinance it, or sell it? How the hell can we get somebody out of a deal? He goes, well, there's 2 ways. He's like, I have lenders that are like refinance lenders, but they're private money lenders. So they go and they take out your current lender, and then they charge you a lot more from this, and they lend it to you for 3 or 4 years, like a longer term. I said, okay, that's cool. I didn't even know about that one. I said, then I brought up, in any scenario, let's say, we're doing 10, 15, 20 deals a fucking month, like we're going to be doing next month. In any scenario, if I only have somebody that gives me a term for 6 months, but I need them for a year or 2 because the equity is not there for me to pull a HELOC or whatever to pay back my lender in the short term, am I able to just pull HELOCs from my other fucking homes and pay them off? Or if I needed to sell a note, can I just do that? And he goes, dude, absolutely. I was like, I would rather just try to pay them back within the same deal. But I'm having a scenario where I bought a house for market price on the water in Florida. And so there's no equity spread. I literally bought it for market price. It like they just bought the house and went to foreclosure like 6 or 7 months after. So there's no equity in the deal. And so I have no spread. I'll show you the next proposal on that one. There's no spread from what I bought it at. So I'm like, how the fuck can I get this lender out if there's no, if they're gonna look at it and actually do the homework, and like, how are you gonna pay me out if there's no spread? And I don't have 2 or 3 years that that lender's giving me. They're only gonna give me 6 months. So I said, in the last case scenario, can I get one of those private money refinance lenders, or just sell one of my notes, or pull equity out on my other properties? He said, oh, absolutely. So many fucking people do that. And I was like, cool. That literally took all the stress off my mind of thinking I don't have enough lenders for my deals. All I have to know is continue kicking ass, Carlos, and buy as many fucking deals, and you'll never have to worry about exiting lenders, because you can just pull from all your houses. Like the deal we're about to be finished up on by mid next month, the house that I bought in Mariposa, California, that shit is like already like market price is 600 grand. I bought it for 379. I owe 369 on it. Right now, if I wanted to next month, I could automatically pull a HELOC and fucking take the difference. I owe a lender in there like 80 grand, so I owe him 80 grand out of that 200,000 plus, but I automatically have 100 something grand to spend, right? And so now that I know that, I'm like, fuck yeah, it doesn't even matter no more, because I just need somebody to fund the deal and I can get them out, because I learned how to adapt. That's why it's always about banking on the jockey, not the horse, meaning not the deal. You bank on the fucking person who's buying or performing the deal. Because if that person can learn to be adaptable, you're not going to lose with somebody who knows how to overcome shit. You're going to lose with somebody who only sees one strategy, and if shit hits the fan, they just run away. That's when you lose. So here we are, right? I went over this. Sales price 230. I'm asking $10,000 down. So once they give me $10,000 down, this new wrap buyer is buying this at 220 grand. They're financing that amount at 8% over a 30-year amortization schedule. I'm going to be getting $615. I have 5 years on this balloon to pay them out, right? So right here at this moment, for me to do this deal, I would have to give this guy 5 years as well, because obviously he's not going to get a full 30-year term unless I come and buy the term out myself. So you'd have to plan it out and give this guy 5 years, unless you know how to sell the note in the back after 3 or 4 years. Like I have 5 years, like on the 4th or 5th year, I can sell the note now that it was principal pay down and it was seasoned out. I can sell the note, and then now that note buyer paid the new lender or the seller out. So there's no actual 5-year balloon anymore. It can go the whole 30 years. So you want to have that, because your sellers are not like investors. They want to actually just leave that loan in place for 30 years. So here's my entry fees. $15,000 down to the seller. Their original assignment fee is a little bit less. I threw in $2,500 additional for anything I need. I put closing costs. I might not even need the paint and fixtures on a wrap. On a wrap, you can have a house that isn't up to 2022 standards, and you can sell it for market price. That's what's really cool about that strategy. But after I got some photos, I'm like, this might need some cleanup. So I'm just going to throw additional money into this deal just in case, 5,000 in there for any paint or additional cleanup. And then holding costs. If it takes me, after this gentleman moves out of the house, if it takes me a month or two, if I needed to paint it or do some type of cleanup, I put 2 to 3 months worth of the payments that I owe. And all this is extra too. At the end of it is like, I do approximate numbers, because in the end, if I only needed 32,000, there's an additional 2,500 that I can take that was tax deferred because it was a loan. And so this is my loan term, right? 6 months with the balloon. This is somebody who's not like a very experienced lender who has like an aggressive amount that they want in return. So I shot them 2 proposals for 2 different deals and shot them a 15% cash on cash return. Let me borrow your 34,500 for 6 months, and I'll give you 5175 back in return. Will it work for everybody? Who knows? I don't know, right? For a Gator lender, it's totally different. Gator lenders want chunks of change or equity for shorter periods of times. Maybe Gator lenders would be open to this, but in reality, 6 months kind of kills the deal for them. So when there's certain deals where Gators come in place for clutch, for a lot of deals actually. Now, if you need longer term money, you have to look for private money. They're different, and hard money is different too. But sometimes you just need private money, like softer money, so you can actually make your benefit. Sometimes you're not going to get home runs. Like at the end of this deal, when I borrowed 34,500, I'll break it down real quick. 170,000. I'm really financing 155 after paying 15 grand. So really, I'm gonna be all in 34,500 plus the 155 seller amount, and then the return of 51. So I'm gonna owe $155,000 plus 34,500 plus 5175. So I'm maxed out all in $194,675. That's my all-in price, basically, and that's if my lender accepts to this. That's all I'm paying for this deal. Well, I'm selling it for 230. So I'm picking up a $36,000 difference and holding a note on that for 5 years while making $1,000 a month on that. So I'm making $12,000 a year on this property split with a partner. Then I pick up, you know how I said, hey, pick up the deals that have 20 or 30 grand and cash flow on it. Cash flow on the motherfucker. It wasn't too exciting of a deal for me, but I didn't want to let that go because I understand I'm going to just pick up as many properties as I can and then go for it. Are you able to were you able to see that whole thing, Deshaun, and kind of understand it a little bit on the lending side? Like if you were able to read it, maybe didn't have to make too much sense, but you can kind of see how I broke it down, where I was making money, how I was asking for my fees, what the fees were for and stuff like that. Do you have any questions on that?
No, I got it, man. I was wondering if you're gonna like sell a note on the back end, and I wanted
to, so that's where I got confused, because once I thought I was gonna make more money until when I got the photos, I'm like, shit. So that might not be able to give me the most. So I'm probably gonna have to put some more money into it. The way that it would work for me to sell the note is I would need more than $30,000 in the deal, because you have to sell the note. Most note buyers are buying at 60 to 65% of the assessed value. So $235,000, I'd have to sell it at like say 0.65. I'd have to sell it at 152,750 for me to actually sell it to a note buyer, because they're buying seasoned notes at 65%. So I learned a new strategy. Instead of giving away the 35%, what you do is you break up 100% note into a 75%, a 75 positional note and a 25% positional note. You keep the 25% positional note for yourself. So instead of giving away 30, 40 grand, you hold that right there as like a land, like as a bank as well. And you'll make a small number every month on that extra 30, 40 grand. But there's no reason to give them all that discount if you can keep some of it. So what you do is you break it up into a 75% note. And then remember I said they'll buy it at 60 to 65. So then you just discount that 75 down to 65 to 60. And so you're only giving them maybe 10, 15, 20 grand in discount, instead of giving them the full 35. Because then if you give them the full 35, you're giving them $60,000, $70,000 off. They're making a home run on the deal. You might as well keep 30, 40 grand in a second position and get a small payment on that. And then discount your 75% positional note down to 60 or 65%. And then you're only giving it like a little wholesale discount, but then they're giving you all this cash up front. And so whatever is left in your hand, you can pay yourself additional on top and then pay out the lenders or whatever, which I could re-break down a deal like that on a deal that there's enough money. Now, here's where, if let's say you lock this up at 150, or no, let's just say you lock this up at 120. Then your assignment fee, you can feel free to ask for like $20,000, $25,000, because now you're giving me a spread, 100 grand spread. So even like, let's say this was the same. Let's say it was $15,000 down to the seller, but 20 grand right here to the assignment fee just to you. And we kept all this in place. This would be 54,000, or this would be 44,500. But if I was buying this at 120 grand, I automatically have that $50,000 equity just from 120 to 170. So this wouldn't matter, because if I can still sell it for 230, I still have 50 grand after paying you what you were asking anyways. You get me? But in a scenario where it's going to be strict, the cool thing is I'm going to make an actual good, even more money a month than I thought. I didn't even look at the monthly, because in my head, I thought I was going to sell the note until I saw the photos. I'm like, okay, well, luckily I can adapt. I'm just going to actually hold it, and I'm going to get a lender in here, and I'm just going to exit the lender from another deal, because there won't be a way for me to exit the wrap, and I can't refinance it because I just resold the house. So I have no authority to refinance it. I'm just the bank now on the property. So like last week, I had to sit and think about like, fuck, okay, well, how do people do it when there's no equity in the deal? How the fuck? And so I was just sitting until I called my mentor and I was like, hey, listen, I'm getting frustrated thinking about these fucking deals. Instead of, are there other ways to pay out your lenders from other deals? Is that possible? And he goes, dude, 100%. And so we just started talking. And then after having that conversation, I felt so comfortable because if I could buy 10, 15 deals a month and every month sell one note or 2 or 3 notes, I'll have a whole bunch of change. So at any moment, if a lender's like, yo, I want to be out of this deal in 4 months, I could just fucking clear them out from a different deal. Though I'd rather just keep them from the same deal. But I just know in a last case scenario and worst resort, last case or worst resort type of thing, I can use money from any of my other deals. And fuck it, on my way up, I'm planning to do it. I'm planning to do all that shit because I don't have it. Where I made a mistake is I didn't get enough lenders. And now I'm having problems with all these deals and not enough lenders to fund the deals. And so now that's where I was having a headache because I have a lot of lenders that have the money, but they want 6 months and I need longer for it to work until I had that conversation with my mentor. Now I'm like, cool, just fucking fund the deal. I'll get you out in your 6 months then. Just fucking fund it though. Fund the fucking deal for me and I'll get you out of it. Don't even worry. And another good thing why it works is because I'm finally taking some action and I'm getting some deals done. So a lot of people are working with me just because of the actual action I've been able to put out there and people see it happen. So that kind of gave into a benefit. Once I started closing all these deals and helping people, now a lot of lenders just came into my DMs because they see me being active and they want to return. So I got blessed with a lot of opportunities, but I still don't have long-term length lending. I need longer-term lengths. And so that's where I had to adapt, either not buy these fucking deals or sit down and brainstorm and try to figure out how I can buy these deals and get the lenders out. And I won't lose a deal just because I don't have an answer. I'll go figure it out. That's the truth.
For real. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, but I appreciate it too. And that's why I wanted you to come in here because you're locking up deals, man, and you're getting good deals. I want you to always sweeten the deal so you can pay yourself and give me more equity on the deal, and pay yourself more money. Like I want you to make 10, 15, 20 grand every single time. I want to pay you the most you can get for it every time. I don't mind that because I'm not using my own money. I don't give a shit, I don't care about that. I want to acquire a whole bunch of properties. And so if I had to pay 20 grand on a good deal, that I'm going to make 50 grand spread on it after paying everybody out, I'll do it. So it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm just acquiring the properties. I'm not using my own money. I'll pay myself too up front too and take it from the back end of my deal. But as long as you can come in and learn how we structure it and you sweeten the deals, I can buy all the deals if you don't, and I'll show you how to perform when you're ready on them. But you can start selling me the deals automatically. You already know my buy box because the way I lock things up, and then I can buy them from you already at a higher fucking price, or at 15, 20 grand to be like your minimum assignment fee, if you learn to lock them up every time the way that we work them. Now, in scenarios where you're locking it up at market price, just know you might get 5 or 10 grand, but don't shy away from that deal. But then there are going to be those deals where you're going to get, oh, you know what, I put $100,000 spread in there. I want 20 grand off of this deal. And I run the numbers. I'm like, all right, cool. I can make 40 grand after all that. Let's do it. That'll work. Does that work with you, Deshaun?
Love to hear it.
Good shit, bro. Let's get some more deals.
I did have one question. One of the things I think you guys did share it earlier was Cameron's breakdown of how you kind of go through that. I think my question is, it's kind of like just a kind of outline. Do you kind of apply like a Sandler submarine to that? And how's your thought process to that?
So Cameron put that together just from hearing me break down the structure. Now that we're getting ready to next year start releasing an actual mentorship, now actually the team and I are putting together modules, templates, questionnaires, like all the actual things that other mentorships have. But I'm going to be giving my responses, not average, mediocre responses. I'm going to give my legitimate responses to all these questions. And so soon I'm going to create some good ass fucking like documents for you guys to have just sitting around you that will remind you. I'll have little things about going over 1031 and why it works in seller finance options. Basically any question that you guys have, you guys should save it, ask it, or even put up like in the powerhouse, like, hey, Carlos, can you make a module for this? Can you make a training for this? Give me ideas, because I'm also busy by myself and I haven't automated my business yet. I'm just trying to close. But if you guys want some stuff, ask the question, post it, tag me. And then if I don't know how to do it, best believe I have a network of people that specialize in everything. And so like how we're bringing in the pre-foreclosure specialist Saturday, I got somebody, or then I can bring in Michael to talk about fix and flips and construction, right? I have everybody. Dustin has a whole net worth. He's gonna bring in Benson from Privy. He's interviewed Brad Lee. Like we have so many people that we can bring into this, and that's why we want next year. It's going to be worth the monetization of it. It's going to be no different for me. I do it all for free. I've learned all the leveraging. You guys don't have to pay for it next year at all. It's all free for you guys still. It's grandfathered in. But me as a professional, I'm always going to monetize on everything. I want multiple businesses. That's me, and I want to show you guys the same thing. Make money, leverage, bring value, make money. It's not hard. Scarcity mindset is when it gets hard. If I ran out of money the way that I ran out of money on this round because I didn't set myself up right, and then I didn't have any deals in the pipeline, I would be like shit out of water right now. The only thing keeping me afloat is knowing I have like $3 million in assets and a whole bunch of fucking money coming next month and the month after that. That's the only thing keeping me afloat, because if I didn't have those deals locked up and shit, I could be like the next client that you guys are calling for, try to get my house and shit like that. That's the truth and reality of where I'm sitting right now. But the thing is, I pushed through it and I started to acquire all these properties, though they have a 2 to 4 to 6 month turnaround on some of them. I'd rather struggle just a little bit more so that I accumulated it. So here's the cool thing: for next month and the month after, I have several checks coming in. Bam, bam. I have some deals that are giving us 6-figure spreads after paying everybody out. And after selling the note and still getting a 6-figure spread on it and stuff. So I'm not worrying anymore, because I know that in less than 90 days, I'll be like fucking all the way up, like all the deals up. And then in 90 days, I plan to be at like a minimum of 25 to 30 deals a month. So you can imagine picking up $3 to $5 million worth of assets and maybe another 5-10 grand of passive income every single month is the way that I look at it. So I'll be fine from here on out. But this whole year has been 9 months of fucking literally like die hard every day, studying and trying to get out of this headache and stress real quick. And glad I didn't give up, man, because the shit got pretty tough for a little bit. And what was even harder is, while it was getting real tough, I was still the man who was running the powerhouse. So like, I still had to hold an image of like, dude, no matter what, how hard this is, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna get this shit done. I'm glad that I stuck to it, because I'm also able to show you guys that reality was I was going through it and still made it happen. And so it gives you guys a little bit more confidence if you're feeling a little bit down and feeling a little bit out and feeling the pressure of like not being able to pay your bills or being evicted or having this. Like, I had to sell shit. I had to sell one of my cars, all of my subs, sell half of my fucking gym equipment in my garage just to get by. And this month I haven't even fucking made it to any of my bills. Though I know in 90 days, and I know like in 30 days I'll be fine. But I had to go through like 3 or 4 months like that, literally. And so I ran out of money like in like end of April. And it was like really mentally hard for the mind, like really stressful. And then you feel a little bit down and out and depressed. And I have to be this positive person. And then I got to come and hype up the powerhouse and keep an image too, because I want to give you guys the power of what it is. And that whole time I ran out of money 5 months ago. It was very stressful. I had to start selling shit, barely get by, nothing in the fridge, like literally like things like that, like legitimately like some probably the most depressed times I've had. And I've been pretty depressed when I was on drugs and alcohol, like probably hit like rock bottom again financially. And I met like an equilibrium where I hit my lowest and became at my highest at the same exact time. And it's a shitty but understanding feeling that I made it. But it's a shitty feeling because to everybody I look like I'm crushing it, but in reality I'm fucking actually currently have less money in the bank or more negative on everything that I have. All my credit cards are like negative $400 or $500. My credit since I haven't been able to make payments on any of my cards for 3 months, I dropped like 123 points over the last 3 months, right? Ruined my credit. But I understand that I'll be up here. I shouldn't have done it this way, and I don't recommend you doing it the way that I did it. But these were the hands that I was dealt. I went with it, made that mistake, and I learned to adapt. And it was very fucking hard, dude. It was very, very, very hard for me. But I just wanted to let you guys know that don't give up, man, because I didn't, and all of that was happening. And I was having to deal with my landlord and the arguments, and then with my lady for spending 10 to 15 hours a day. Check this out. 10 to 15 hours a day, building a community, all this, and all she hears me is bringing value to people, no fucking checks coming in. She doesn't understand this game. You know how many times, how uncomfortable it is literally every day right now to go, and when I get out of this room, and probably my food's cold. She's probably already pissed. Probably couldn't even hear me. But the truth is, I get out, it's uncomfortable. When I get off of this, I go feel emasculated, feel broke, can't fucking feed ourselves the right way. Like, it's frustrating for me. Though I've made it now, I understand it. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's real for me, and I'm making things happen. And I did this whole business with, I didn't have any money to do it. So I leveraged myself this entire time with no money out of my pocket. And that's why I tell people that if you have an automated business where you're paying for a CRM, calling tools, and SMS campaigns, VAs, and leads, and you still haven't got to my level, when I automate my business, you will never see me ever in the same fucking street as you, ever, because you never knew how to even get it without any money. And so what is money going to do for you? It ain't going to do nothing for you because you don't know how to do nothing with it. Give me money now and watch what's going to happen. I built it with nothing, my whole name. I went from no deals to I sold 5 wholesale deals. We just locked up 3. I purchased 11 fucking properties, built a mastermind mentorship, helped over 10 people close their first deal. My first student has 8 deals, working on his 9th fucking deal. Partnered up with my mentor on a multifamily. All my mentors are partnered up with my mentor on 10 different deals. I'm now the creative financing coach for TTP and Brent Daniels every Friday, and I did that in less than 9 months with no money out of my pocket. No money. What's going to happen when I go ahead and automate my business and I get to pay for marketing and pay for leads and pay for VAs? I'm going to get 100% of my own business, and I know how to do it the right way. And that's why no one will, if you couldn't beat me now, what makes you think you're going to beat me when I have the same, when I get on the same boat as you, when I have money like you to automate your business? What's going to make you think that you have even a chance if you couldn't even catch me right now? Does that make sense? Isn't that pretty wild? It's pretty wild. Like how I was able to do that, and I still feel like shit.
Well, it resonates.
All this, and I feel like shit, bro.
Well, I mean, so I'm just going to share a little bit. It resonates. I actually, in order to be part of what you're doing, I actually ended a contract that I was on to make the time, because you can't be one boat. There's a saying, you can't have one leg on 2 boats, right? And the times that you had, which is the 6:30 to 8 a.m., I couldn't. I had another, priority that I have to fulfill. And then also your 3 to 9, 3 to 6. I remember we had our first conversation a couple of months ago. I was like, I can't because I have this, and I can't, how do I do that? On the accountability group, which is again tonight, actually, I got to jump on that for sub 2. You actually shared who you were and who you are and who you're going to be. Mm-hmm. And I heard you. And if it wasn't for your authenticity of the hardships, and the sacrifices, the daily ones, I don't know if I would be here. Right. We got connected with George, and it was like, okay, cool. Yeah. You connected me with him. But like, I think when we talked, it was about like, how do I get a car sub 2? I think that was the essence of our conversation.
Yeah, that was the car guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And I was just like, well, how does this make sense? How do I get a car sub 2 and whatever? But when I heard you on that, and I was like, that's why George sent me to this gentleman. That's why Powerhouse makes sense. And for anybody here, man, there is a lot out there, but for me, and I've experienced this both by building systems. I lost a lot of money, man. I started this thing with the 805 credit score and about 50K left in the bank to try this out. I've had to shut down wholesale operations, lost partnerships, all the things, joined another team just to be a lead manager, all the stuff. This has got to be a dedication. It doesn't work if it's not dedicated, right? But coming into here and watching you, Powerhouse is powerful, not just a pun, man. It's amazing. You don't train like this mediocre surface layer conversation with what if this, what if this? It's just like you're not sure of yourself. you're also not aggressive and dominant where you just try to take over somebody, right? There's this kind of sweet spot of like, I'm confident, and you need that because, you know, I'm a professional here and I can carry you through to what I say I'm going to be able to do for us. And that's the misunderstanding sometimes. It's like, how do you come to it with humility and but not weak? And how do you come there confident without being arrogant and manipulative and aggressive? And it's an art. And I watch how not only what you're saying, but in the mornings I'm listening to the different people like Mike this morning, the ringer. Mike he's on here, man. He's a ringer, man. That guy says he's not that good. Oh man, I don't know. The guy's a beast in the making. And I'm hearing the value today. That's why I wanted to send Vic, you know, over to just kind of get everybody in here. There's not only value in the yeses, but there's the values in the nos.
Yeah. There was a lot of questions that I asked him that sucks that I had to walk away so I can hear it. But there were a lot of questions that I went over in that short period of time that would have helped you guys out. Because he was a guy that understood it, that had no reason to sell for a discount, but he still wanted me to continue to talk to him about it and tell him and break it down until he found out exactly like, oh, it doesn't just meet my goals. And I said, that's exactly what I was going over, if it even met your goals. Because I remember told you that I couldn't do it any other way but this way.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, got you. I like it though, but you know, I can cash out for a discount, you know, like that's fine. I said, that's totally fine with me, man. That's why I was going over.
100%. Don't want to, you know, he sent me a text. He said, thank you. He actually thanked me for setting up that call where we didn't match. Right. Yeah. I want to kind of share some of that. But sometimes we think that we have to get the win by getting the contract, or we don't get a contract and we leave on bad terms. No, we fit it. We just realize that as men, we don't fit in the scenario and we could leave. My business partner is still staying in his house. He was thankful that I connected you with him to have a real conversation, and you came to he made a decision, and it didn't make sense for him and for us and or for you, and maybe in the future, you know, we could do something else. But for right now, you know, we leave as friends, right? And there's value in that.
And what happens too is when you give somebody that much value, when somebody gets phone calls all day, every day because they own properties, it's the way of the world now. Everybody gets them. Everybody's cold calling them. When you're the one that stands out, when you're the one that fucking educates them so much, you're the one they're going to remember. That guy sounded like he knew what the fuck he was talking about. And he gave me so many other ways where I can pay him more, or he can pay me more. He kept saying he can pay me more. He can pay me more for one way. Like, that's why you set it up, because in business, a follow-up can take years sometimes. A lot of them don't. But there are some that you start off with and it takes you years for them to make a decision, but they make it with you. And so you plant a seed and you move. And that's why you want to be busy. That's why I always talk about leverage and get out there and be busy, because you'll never worry about that person until when they come back around.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry. When you're working 10 deals a day, how can you be worried about yesterday's deals?
Yeah.
When you have 10 new deals to worry about, right?
Yeah.
And when you have one deal today, and you don't have a deal tomorrow, and then next week you still have no deal, so you're just thinking about last week's deal. You're trying to squeeze the life at it. You're trying to follow up 3 times a week. You're starting to annoy that person. You're hoping on everything, and then you're starting to feel sour. But you forgot about the most important thing, was continued lead generation. And that's why I teach a lot scarcity mindset. That's why I taught a lot of people, like how Deshaun's now going and posting a lot of the same stuff everywhere. That's what's going to get you leverage. You don't have to be a top-notch closer for other people to see you saying, hey, I can close deals. You know how many people are scared? Yeah. How nervous were you guys on your first call? You know how many people have anxiety to do this? And how many people who might have money that have automated fucking systems, but they're nervous to call? You know, you just telling them I can close, people with real money will come up to you and help you out, like bring you leads, hot leads, paid leads, like paperclip leads, dude. Some people will come up to you and be like, I pay like $500 a lead, $1,000. They're ready to go. I'm just scared to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just super nervous. I don't know how to do it. And so you guys will get all these fucking opportunities literally in your laps. That's how I built myself through time. And that's why nobody fucked with me at first, because I didn't have a system in place. I didn't have a big business, didn't have all these leads coming in. Nobody started fucking with me until they started to see me do things, you know, like, and that the truth is people have to see to believe, and it's okay. I didn't expect everybody to roll with me, you know, but the thing is, the few people stuck by me, I blew this shit up. I stuck to my word. I walked the walk, talked the talk, did it all. And then I started to perform after I decided I built this community enough. I'm going to learn to buy now. Because I went to sub 2. First strategy I did was leverage myself by building a community. While everybody went and learned how to do strategies, the first thing I did was I saw Pace on one of our first Zooms. Be confident like how I am. Be really good on the phone how I am. And close the deals, and people were handing them deals like nothing, like hotcakes. And so right away, first thing I did was I left and I went and created the powerhouse. And I went and started just adding people and started to say, hey guys, I'm closing deals, I'm closing deals, I'm closing, and went and posted for fucking 2-3 months straight. And then by like April, started to get a little bit of movement. So 2 months of me believing this shit was gonna happen. And then after 2 months when it wasn't happening, how frustrated do you think I was when I was like, dude, I spent like 4 to 5 hours every single day trying to build this, talking and calling people, and I can't make it happen. And then when I decided I have enough people here and I'm getting enough deals, I'm gonna finally learn how to be how to do the strategies. And by that time, when I had enough deal flow and I started to learn sub 2, I met Brad, and now I was able to bring all these deals that I had worked so hard to get from promoting myself all day and every day. Maybe they didn't know I was worthy enough just yet, but some people were like, I don't know you, and I'm stuck. Here you go, here you go. And then I met a Brad who knew what's up. And I brought these deals, and that's when you seen, oh, in 2 months, he's done like 15 fucking deals, bought a whole bunch, and then this and that. And now everybody's trying to fuck with me. Now everybody's in my DM who has big names, like, oh, I see your name moving around now. And I look at our last text message, and I asked you a long question. You never responded to me. Right? And so now I see all these people who were big dogs that I was truly asking them questions too. And I'm looking at our last messages because now that, hey, what's up, man? I see you doing big things. And I'm looking at our last messages, and I wrote you a message and you never got back to me. Yeah. I wonder why. Oh, but now that I'm doing things, right? Somebody even was like, man, I can finally see the powerhouse as something. I'm like, yeah, because you're one of those people who don't know how to believe in yourself. You have to see it first to believe it. And that's why you're fucking with me after I made it. That's totally fine. Just jump on board with the rest of the people. And then I moved on to the next call, right? I let them know what's up too. It doesn't matter though. But that was the journey, man. The journey was real. The journey was real for me.
Yeah, I mean, you pay for it with blood, sweat, and you know, you earn that. I mean, I have that. I think for me, one of the big things was in one of the people that I was helping, there was lack of communication. I was just another cog, right? I was just another worker, but there was no, I want you to do well. And I think that was for me what helped me to make a decision, right? Like, how do I leave this one that's giving me opportunity, but I don't actually see growth, right? Here, where you're really trying to, one of my mentors that is outside of this said, you know, if somebody really wants you to win, they're going to keep pouring into you, and they're going to care not the monetary stuff, they care about you growing. But if somebody wants to keep you into a position in their company that just plays a minimal role, you know it, and you'll see that when you try to level up, they're going to keep you down, right? And maybe it's, you know, maybe they're conscious of it, maybe they're subconscious, maybe they're busy, whatever, right? But you got to make a decision. Is this a platform for me to grow? Is this a community? Is there leadership wanting that? And if you make that call, just commit to it, right? So like I said, it was hard for me to end that contract, but man, afterwards, this very first week, I was like, dang, why didn't I end the contract earlier?
Yeah.
Right?
That's because look, like a lot of people have good, valuable information, Q&As. There's a lot of good value. But the reality is, as we're coming up, we're learning to close deals. And that's the meat and potatoes. And a lot of people, quite frankly, they don't have what I have in that scenario. Go ahead and go ahead and know a little bit more about strategies. But you'll never outclose me. Therefore, I'll feed myself and a whole bunch of families more than you can buy and do 1 or 2 strategies a year. Like I was talking to somebody the other day who was like, oh, I know this and that. And he telling me, oh, well, you could have done this. And every time it was like one of the guys that tried to up one me. I was on a Zoom and he just kept trying to up one me about how he knew sub 2 more than I did. And I said, how long have you been doing sub 2? 2 years. How many properties have you have? 2. All right, cool. You should sit in the back of the line. I have 11 and I started buying like 3 months ago. So stop trying to up one me for a second. I had to tell him like that. Cool. So you've learned, so you know all these strategies and you might know some more answers than I do, but you only got 2 properties. Who closes more deals? Who monetizes more? Next question. That's how I shut him up on it. It wasn't that I was being rude, but he kept trying to up one me because, oh, well, you could have done this better, or you could have done this better. Quite frankly, I'm just going to buy and keep going as I'm learning. And how many deals have you done on creative finance? 2. You've done 2 in 24 months? Dude, I did fucking 4 in 18 days. That's crazy. There's a difference between you and I, obviously. That's why I'm coaching over here. And that was it. That just put him in his place and he stayed quiet. I don't care. I'm that type of person, man. I'm not like that. I used to be. You come fuck with me how I used to be, you get the bad side of me. But I'm not that person anymore. But the thing is, I stay authentic. Like how you said, I like your authenticity, this is how I am. I'll put somebody in their place too, because I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not rude to people. I bring value. Most people are going to want to up one you to try to impress you. I read that book too. How much did you do with that book? Nothing. Then shut the fuck up. What did you bring it up for? It really means nothing to me that you've never done nothing with it. All you're trying to tell me is you read the fucking book so you can relate to me. It means nothing to me unless you actually fucking accomplish things that book told you to do. But that's how most people are. Clout. That's why right here, I'm upfront and raw. I don't care for the clout. Like it, but I don't care for it. I want real results for you guys. And that's why if I'm a little bit critical, in reality, there's a lot of guys on here right now, one female on here. When I say things in general, like, hey, in general, it's because I know a lot of people get their feelings hurt, just like you need 1st and 2nd and 3rd place fucking trophies, like for kids now. I think that they're fucking that up too, for males and stuff. But when I say in general, I'm really saying, hey, motherfucker, basically you, if you're fucking being a fucking pussy in your life right now and you're so fucking scared, get up and get out of that. Like how some people are like, oh, but can you do this for me? Or can you do that? I can. Why don't you fucking come in here more and ask first off? Second, why don't you fucking go and learn and study when I repeat these fucking, not that I'm an asshole. That's why I always want to say it in general. So people can have that quick, like, oh, you know what? I can go and make sure that I study and read more. So when I ask him a question, he doesn't have to spoon feed me the fucking definitions first and then go into the basics, right? And that's why I say it, so people in here can wake up. If not, what's going to happen is this. You're probably going to jump off the Zoom and not come in here anymore. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But in today's age and time, you need to be a little bit critical for people. You have to have constructive criticism for some high performer to move forward. If I go to a room right now and sit down with high performers and break down my business, best believe I'm going to get chewed out on a lot of things, and I'm willing to do it because they're giving me constructive criticism. You put in a lot of females in here right now, or new age men in here right now, and if I were to talk to them how the car business talked to Ben and I, or talk to them how high performers talk to each other on like how they should be doing things better, you would lose a lot of supporters. So a lot of people are fucking pussies. A lot of people cry and they get hurt when you tell them things like this. And that's why also the people on my acquisitions teams, they're not people who complain. The people who are actually on my acquisitions team, there are people who believe in themselves. I only fuck with people really who believe in themselves, because I'm not in business to go and try to convince you to believe in yourself. You have some belief, I'll guide you to where I guided myself, right? That's the truth. I'm not fucking with somebody who does not believe in themselves. And that's why the people that get my one-on-one phone calls all the time are people that I know they're like me, adapting to fucking overcome the game, to come and kill it. Because I like talking to people like that. It's easier for you to bounce ideas off than if I have to come in here and bring you onto my team. And then first off, I have to get you ready to fucking just to have a good day. Or are you ready to call? Yeah, but I'm a little bit nervous. And you already start talking to like if the fucking glass is half empty. When I start hearing that shit is when I'm like, let me come back to you when you're ready to rock. When the glass is always half full, when you already think that you already made it. When like in your head, like, oh, I can make this happen. I can do this. When I hear shit like that, I get excited because I know that person's believing in himself. Let me guide that to the right areas. All they need is a little bit of guidance. Does that make sense?
100%, man. I appreciate the game. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Guys, I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna grab some food real quick, and then I got a couple contracts to type up and stuff. But What's tomorrow? Thursday. Tomorrow, let's get in it. And tomorrow from 3 to 6, we won't do any role play. I'll do all live calls. Today was a little bit off. I have a dog going off. We had some things that didn't go right in the beginning, first 40 or 50 minutes. So tomorrow we'll come in and you guys have any leads you guys want me to help call, you guys can even schedule them from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, and I'll get on it and do my best to close what I can. Sounds good?
All right, thank you.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Get everything.
Talk to you later.
Peace out.
Thanks, Carlos.
You had a good night.
See you guys in the morning.
Night, y'all.